200. England's first ever defeat by 10 wickets in a T20 international. Stunning chase from Pakistan. And it's time to do it all over again. The third match in 4 days, Pakistan against England, the third T20 at the National Stadium in Karachi. It was a dramatic day yesterday, a unique day with that remarkable Pakistan victory by 10 wickets. The first time England have ever been beaten in a T20 international by 10 wickets. All sorts of records were broken. The bottom line is that Pakistan made it 1-1 in this 7-match T20 series. Okay, what's the news today? Well, the weather is pretty similar. It's around about 28 degrees. Humidity is pretty similar, 73% today compared to 75% yesterday. And there is a bit of a breeze and there's some cloud cover as well at the National Stadium in Karachi. The news from the middle is that Pakistan, for the first time in this series, have won the toss, and no surprise at all, they decided to put England into bat, and England would have put Pakistan in. Remember, England winning the toss yesterday but deciding to bat first. And Moeen Ali, actually just before the toss today, said these wickets are quite difficult to read, and I think the implication there was that they feel they misread the pitch yesterday. It didn't play quite as they expected. It was actually a bit flatter and a bit easier to score runs on it than they imagined. They thought 199 was a winning total by quite a considerable distance actually, but Pakistan knocked them off even though it went to the last over. Really bizarre day when a match goes to the last over but you lose by 10 wickets. Anyway, the team news is that England made 3 changes, and it's a big day for a couple of players. Will Jacks is making his debut today in place of Alex Hales. He received his cap while the players were out in their huddle before the match today. And Mark Wood is back. First time in England colours since early March. He did play a club match, but he's had this elbow problem. He's had an operation, and he is playing today, which is great news for him. Let's hope he comes through it and is able to come through a few more matches as well. And Reece Topley is back, his first game for a month. So 3 changes. Willie, Hales and Wood are out, and Wood, Jacks and Topley are in. Luke Wood is out and Mark Wood is back. The Pakistan team news, they are unchanged. So same lineup for Pakistan today. Alongside me, I've got Atif Nawaz, who'll be on commentary in a short while. And I've also got Paul Farbrace, former England assistant coach, former director of cricket at Warwickshire and Sri Lanka coach as well, who won the T20 World Cup, which is what we're all pointing towards. Won the T20 World Cup back in 2014 with Sri Lanka. Good afternoon to both of you. We've got Heather Knight as well, who we'll hear from very shortly. The England women's captain, 207 white ball matches for England. So that's your lineup today. My name's Simon Mann, and alongside me Atif and Paul Farbrace, just to have a look at today's match. So, I mean, what's it like, do you think? Having to, sort of same again, same ground, same conditions, same teams roughly, or same team as far as Pakistan are concerned. How is it for those England players?
It's quite tough, I think. It's quite unusual, and it's interesting. The only time I've ever been involved in back-to-back games, we played back-to-back 50-over matches with Sri Lanka against Pakistan in this stadium in Karachi. So it's quite tough going back the next day because you put so much into it and you go back the next day. It's really interesting the point you made about reading the pitch. In the first game, the ball started to grip a little bit. And when I saw yesterday that England had scored 199, I genuinely thought that would be too many. The ball would grip.
So
England
did they.
Bowled,
I think they did
absolutely,
too. Yeah.
And England bowled brilliantly in the last 10 overs in the first game. And then yesterday, the last 10 overs was the difference. They couldn't get the ball to grip and they couldn't stop the flow of runs. And Pakistan played absolutely brilliant. We talked in the first game about Rizwan and Babar being just fantastic players. And I think the best pair opening batsmen in this form of the game in world cricket at the moment, and they certainly showed that yesterday.
Well, they have scored the most runs together as a pair in the history of T20s. 1,929, had gone past Rohit and Dhawan yesterday, and they put on 85 in the first match and they put on 203 unbroken in the second. I mean, we talk about actually the England players. It might be quite difficult for those two as well to sort of find the reserves to come out today as well.
It's not easy backing it up. It really isn't easy as a player. You put so much into a day's game. And T20 cricket, it might seem like a short, sharp game, but it's a very draining game mentally as well. and to get yourself back up the next day to have to do it all again won't be easy. It will be tough, and I think England have done the right thing, making a couple of changes, bringing a bit of freshness into the team. I like that. I certainly like the idea of the two bowlers. I'm really pleased to see Mark Wood back. I think he is a fantastic addition to this England team. He brings so much to the team, a lot of skill, a lot of experience, but also he brings a lot of passion and excitement to the team, and I'm really pleased to see him back. Will Jacks, what a fantastic player. He really is an exceptional player, and I think there'll be a lot of people in England looking forward to watching him play, because he really is one of the bright talents of English cricket. Hits the ball incredibly hard, hits it all round the ground, very difficult to bowl at when he's in form and playing well. So I think it's a fantastic selection to bring him in. We know about Hales, we know what Hales can do. He played well in the first game. We know he's a good player, very experienced, but this is a great opportunity, 7-game series, to find out about one or two people.
Yeah, and Moeen made the point that Hales has been rested today, back-to-back games. Hales has been rested. They want to have a look at Will Jacks as well. We were talking yesterday evening, Atif, after the game, when you said actually you think England might have learnt a bit more yesterday than Pakistan, because we know that those two players at the top of the order are gun players, and if you don't get them out, they'll do exactly what they did yesterday, and they've done it before. And the question marks of this Pakistan team probably were in the middle order. The middle order, their batting, their bowling seems fairly rock solid. They've got some options to come in. So it's a weird thing to say, isn't it? Pakistan won by 10 wickets, a great win for them. But what did they learn yesterday? Do you have to learn something? Isn't it just about winning?
Yeah, I suppose sometimes it is just about winning. I think for them, it's about confidence as well. I mean, they'd lost 3 matches on the bounce heading into that game. Obviously, critics in Pakistan don't hold back. They sharpen their knives very, very quickly. So there was a whole overreaction to 3 different losses in a row. So for them, just to be able to win a game, just to remind everybody that, hey, before you start writing us off, we are, 2 of the world's best batters. And, you're right. They didn't learn anything about what they're going to do next. They haven't learned anything about Haider Ali in at number 3 or Shan Masood at number 4. And they haven't necessarily, got so secure that they're now going to start experimenting. Babar Azam very happy very quickly to immediately put England into bat. This is very much about winning another game. They've gone with the exact same lineup because most of them didn't really, well, the batters certainly didn't get much of a game yesterday. So we already know that these two, Babar and Rizwan, are going to open at the World Cup, but now they're a bit more confident than perhaps they were heading into this series. Yeah, the bowlers obviously having to back it up. You're bowling 4 overs, fielding for an hour and 40 minutes. It is intense, but it's not the most arduous thing. You play a test match, sometimes you have to bowl for 2 days, don't you? Well, Wasim Akram before the start of the game was talking about this, and he said after 30 it's very difficult to play 2 games of cricket or 2 consecutive days of cricket in a row, which I'd love to get him and Jimmy Anderson in a room together, because Jimmy exclusively plays test cricket, and he's frequently playing consecutive days. But yeah, I understand what he's saying, because there's a different intensity to modern T20 cricket, and for Pakistan it will very much be a case of coming down from that euphoria of the win yesterday and reapplying themselves, refocusing on another exciting England team. There'll be some unknowns there for Pakistan. They won't know too much about Will Jacks. I know Will Jacks has played a little bit with Mohammad Hassan, but they won't know too much about him. Very, very exciting batter, a huge part of Surrey's success, particularly in limited overs cricket. So they'll have to keep very, very sharp and focused, and again the emphasis will be on that middle order again. For England, they know that if they can break that opening partnership, it opens up a world of opportunity. Yesterday they got unlucky with that matchup of Moeen Ali. He just held himself back for as long as he possibly could, but eventually he came into bowl to 2 set right-handed batters, and it was always going to be a tough task for him. But they will always know that once they get through the front 2, there's question marks over Haider Ali. He's not settled. Shan Masood's not settled. Iftikhar's not settled. Sushtil's not settled. So you've got a full middle order of players who are lacking in confidence, or certainly lacking in that kind of that thought of being secure in the team. You can attack them as soon as you can get through the world-class 1 and 2. Mohamed Ali was saying in the press conference after yesterday's game that he's over. He felt was the turning point. It sort of cost the game. He went for 21. He sort of held himself back. And there's another point actually about Jacks' inclusion, and James Taylor was making this point yesterday. Jacks can bowl as well, especially in the subcontinent. He's another option. Do you think he might bowl this evening?
I would be surprised. I would be surprised. I think that's brilliant though of Moeen, and very selfless of Moeen to take responsibility and say, my over was the big expensive over, taking pressure off some of his players, which I think is a brilliant way to do it. I'm not necessarily sure that he was responsible. The fact they hadn't taken wickets in the first 10 overs, and as you're saying, exposing the Pakistan middle order, which in the first game they did look frail, and I'm not quite sure they'll have learnt a great deal about their middle order from that first game. So to have a win yesterday, brilliant. They needed to win and get back into the series. You don't want to be 2-0 down, but to win. But they didn't actually learn a great deal about their middle order again, Pakistan. And I think under pressure, I think England will fancy their chances if they can take early wickets.
If they can get a score, firstly, though, isn't it? They need to get a decent score on the board to challenge this Pakistan side.
The danger is, I think, when they 200 yesterday and you think they chased it down without losing a wicket, the danger for England today will be to go too hard and be a bit too reckless and try and think they've got to get 220, 230, when actually 200 will be a very, very good score. 200 is an excellent score in any pitch in anywhere in the world. So I think England are going to be really careful here that they don't suddenly find themselves 4 down in the power play, being too reckless trying to get a score that is far too much.
I enjoyed that toss interview from Babar Azam as well, because he set a really bizarre range. He kind of said, we'd be comfortable chasing 150, 160, 180. Sometimes I get the feeling he's just sort of plucking numbers out of the air without too much thought.
Do you know, I think he did say 180, but I think he meant 160, because I think he corrected himself, because I think he said 150, 180, 160. So I think he was just correcting himself. I think he was on that 150, 160 thing which he said yesterday, which is what we want to restrict England to. Well, they didn't yesterday. They got 30 more than that. 30. More than that. More than that. 39 more.
He did. They got significantly more. And it was chased down, as you say, with relative ease, despite the game going to the final over. But this England team have enjoyed so much support in Karachi as well. Like nowadays, you see a lot of signs at the matches, obviously, but in Pakistan, that whole PSL culture of bringing along big signs and the entertainment factor, and there's so many in support of the England team. And I saw one yesterday of someone asking for a signed copy of Mark Wood's book, which, from what I gather, the author or the co-author is trying to make happen as well, which is quite nice. But they're enjoying that support. I think the Pakistan crowd, particularly in Karachi at the moment, they're really enjoying having England over. So the goodwill is still there, the excitement is there, and obviously yesterday's win for Pakistan will only boost that.
Well, the cheer's gone up for the two umpires coming out, which is nice. Aleem Dar and Faisal Afridi are the standing umpires this evening. Rashid Riaz, who stood in the middle yesterday, is our TV umpire. If you have just switched on 5 Sports Extra, the England lineup is Salt, Jacks, Milan, Duckett, Brooke and Ali, and then Curran, Dawson, Rashid, Wood and Topley. That's Mark Wood, not Luke Wood. Mark Wood back in the England side, which is great news for him, and Reece Topley as well. He's had his injury problems. He is playing his first game for a month, so a different configuration to England's attack. 2 left armers, the pace of Wood, right armour, leg spin, left arm spin of Dawson, off spin of Moeen Ali, and possibly the off spin of Will Jacks. But first things first for number 85, Will Jacks. He is walking out to open the batting with Phil Salt. Salt keeping his place. He is the keeper, so he is out there. Salt so far, he's flickered. 30 or 27 yesterday, and then in the opening game he made 10. He actually nailed one, was caught on the deep backward square leg boundary. Heather Knight is here, veteran. Am I allowed to call you a veteran of 207 white ball matches?
No, I'm not sure I like that phrase.
No, okay. Well, that's a compliment. Well, it's a compliment to say you've played all those matches. Anyway, how's the hip?
Take it as a compliment.
How's the hip?
Yeah, it's getting there, thank you.
Good. Okay. Right. So we're about to get underway. Will Jacks, he's 23 years of age, but he has already played 101 T20 matches.
He has. Very exciting batter to watch. Him and Phil Salt are going to make a very entertaining start. I think it could go one of 2 ways, but Will Jacks is been very good in the 100 this year and in the T20 blast back home, obviously picking up that 108 I think it was, off 48 balls for the Oval Invincibles, the second male player to score 100 in the 100. So know what he can do. Obviously Surrey player, very exciting to watch, scores a lot through mid-wicket and looks to get off to a very quick start.
So we've got 23-year-old Harry Brook, 23-year-old Will Jacks. There's some young talented ball strikers in the English game, and both of them are in the England lineup tonight. Ben Duckett, I was really impressed with yesterday. Sort of second coming for Ben Duckett at international level. Swept almost everything. Reverse swept, eventually swept yesterday, and made a very pleasing 43 of 22 balls. Right, we're about to get underway, and Mohamed Hasnain is going to bowl the first ball of the match to Salt, and Salt drives, gets a thick inside edge on the drive, and it goes out backward a square on the onside, deep backward square leg for a single. Nice positive start from Phil Salt. Didn't quite come out of the middle of the bat, and he inspects the bat as if it's the bat's fault. We're just saying it, I don't know whether it just came back in a bit from Mohamed Hasnain. He was saying to Will Jacks. Anyway, England are underway with a single. Salt is off the mark, first ball. Will Jacks is about to take strike for the first time. I went to the Oval early in the season. I took my daughter to watch Surrey Gloucestershire in the T20 Blast, and Will Jacks hit the first ball out of the ground from David Payne. Now, that is the type of player he is.
Looking forward to his first ball then, Simon.
Well,
no pressure.
If he bowls it short on his hip, he might well do. Here's Hasnain. He's got some pace about him. We saw that yesterday, and he could swing it away as well. Goes in now and bowls, and that's clipped away firmly. Actually in the same place, backward a square. And so Will Jacks is underway in his international career with a single towards deep backward square leg. It's been a very good week for Surrey, winning the championship. It's nice to have one of their own as well, playing at the top level of the game, playing for England.
Almost a replay of that last ball, wasn't it?
It was,
Looks
yeah.
like a little bit of in-drift from Hasnain. We haven't seen a huge amount of swing out in Karachi, and looks like he's just going to attack the stumps with his pace.
Hasnain, fresh-faced, goes in and bowls. Dug out by Salt into the offside towards Babar Azam, Pakistan's captain. He's feeling quite wide in that mid-off area. And another single. So 3 balls and 3 singles. All sorts of records were broken by Pakistan yesterday. Highest chase, no wicket down in any T20 match. Any T20 match. First time a team has chased 200 to beat England in a T20 match. So I saw it actually surprised me actually that no team has got 200 to beat England in T20. England's first 10-wicket loss in T20. Here's Hasnain bowling. That's driven by Jacks up towards mid-off, straight to the fielder. And there's no run. First 200 stand for Pakistan in T20. The biggest stand in a T20 chase. And also, just on the 100 from Babar Azam, he's only the 3rd player to score 100 on the same venue in all 3 formats of the game. So T20, one-day internationals and test matches. And your quiz question on University Challenge, Heather, is to name the other 2. Here's Hasnain going in to bowl to Jacks, and that one is a slower ball, and he tries to work it away, and it goes through on the second bounce to Mohammad Rizwan. He went past the outside edge, went through very low to Rizwan, who took that falling forward.
So 300s in 3 different formats on the same ground.
Venue, on the same ground. Yeah, 2 very, very well-known players. A difficult question to. I mean, I don't think I would.
That is tough.
I wouldn't have. I'll give you and our listeners a few minutes to think about it.
David Warner?
David Warner, well done, excellent. You've pulled that one out, very good, excellent.
I can't name the ground though.
Hasnain bowls, and that's lifted away into the onside. It's a nice looking shot. It's running out towards the deep mid-wicket boundary, and it has gone away for 4 runs. Excellent stroke from Jacks, his first boundary in international cricket. It was on about middle and off, and he lifted it away. Powerful stroke, muscular, into the onside, lifted it through that mid-wicket area. Field up, of course, because we're in the power play. And off to the boundary for 4. So it's the end of the first over, and England are 7 for no wicket. Right, David Warner. Yeah, this is it's harder to name the ground, isn't it?
SCG?
It's the Adelaide Oval.
Adelaide Oval.
Okay, and the other player to do it, I'll give you a clue on that, he is South African. 7 for no wicket. Pakistan unchanged. England with 3 changes, and one of those oddities. This is where we need Andy Zaltzman for this. Have England ever, in the history of their cricket, replaced a player with the same surname, so Wood for Wood. Have they ever done that before? I'm not going to delve into the record books or anything like that. You can perhaps tweet us at BBC TMS if you can find one of those in the past. Here is Mohamed Nawaz bowling. It's played away into the onside by Salt, out towards deep mid-wicket, and he's hit that for 4 actually. There's a fielder on the deep mid-wicket boundary, couldn't get round to stop it. It just looked like a help into the onside from Salt, but he got enough on it. And it was quite tucked up, but there's a lot of bottom hand in the shot. Small boundaries, quick outfield, and away for 4. So England moved to 11 for no wicket. Fielder running round is Hyder Ali, got to it and then could only knock it into the rope. So 11 for no wicket, Salt on strike. Nawaz slow left arm bowls, and Salt gives himself some room and clouts this into the offside, out towards the long off boundary. It's picked up in the deep by Iftikhar. That was a good piece of fielding, got onto it and sent in the return to wicket-keeper Mohammad Rizwan, and the score goes to 12 for no wicket in the second over. Have you just got some help there?
Well, I had an idea in my head, and Paul Farbrace has just come and scribbled a name in my notebook. So we've got Paul Farbrace's guess. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, in a second, after this delivery from Nawaz. Pakistan in their blue, and Nawaz in his green boots. Blue shirts, blue trousers, with just a few stripes of lime green in there as well, or light green. 12 for no wicket. 8 balls gone in the match. And here's Jacks on strike, turning that back at a square for a single. Score goes to 13 for no wicket. And Jacks moves to 6. Salt is on 7. Go on.
Herschel Gibbs is Paul Farbrace's guess.
Is incorrect.
And my guess, Faf du Plessis.
Is correct. He pulled out 2 there. Excellent. Yeah, Faf du Plessis, David Warner, and now Babar Azam scored 300s in the same ground in all 3 disciplines. Full from Nawaz, driven away into the onside towards deep mid-wicket. Another run to Phil Salt. Score goes to 14 for no wicket in this 4th over. England looking to be, of course, nice and positive in these power play overs. It's picked up by Hyder Ali in the deep. It's coming to play a lot. There's a lot of bottom hand shoveling going into the leg side against the slow left armour early on. Here's Jacks on strike now. Nawaz bowls to him, and initially there he was going to go, well, he went leg side to try and hit it through the offside, and Nawaz followed him, and Jacks tried to pump it into the stand at deep mid-wicket. It might have been an inside edge onto the pad. There was definitely pad in it, and the ball rolled away. A lot of effort there from Jacks, and not much result. 14 for no wicket. Salt 8, Jacks on 6. We're in the second over. Here is Nawaz bowling to Jacks. Jacks slams this out towards deep mid-wicket. It's going out towards the boundary. The deep mid-wicket fielder is up now, and that has gone away for 4. Again, not perfectly timed. Again, a lot of perspiration in that shot, but effective. 18 for no wicket in this second over.
Yeah, slightly agricultural there. Nawaz just going into the surface, and expected a fielder to be out there actually, but yeah, Jack's just using his bottom hand to find the boundaries. He's looking to be really positive. Nawaz is actually having to follow him a little bit. The previous ball he went to the leg side. Nawaz quite smart and following him on the leg side and then just going a little bit into the wicket, but nicely countered by Jacks, picking up another boundary.
England, after 2 overs, 18 for no wicket, which is slightly quicker than their start yesterday. And here is Hasnain to bowl his second over. Bowls to Salt, hits this high in the air. I think he's miscued it. 2 fielders go for it. The catch is taken. Well, that could have been an almighty collision. I think who's taken the catch up? It was, the eyes were on Hasnain. It was a question of who was going to get there. I don't think Hasnain took the catch in the end, but Salt is on his way. He tried to heave that down the ground. It went high in the air. The bowler and fielder went after it, and it was the fielder who got there. It was hit high up on the bat from Phil Salt. It was Barber who he just pinched it almost out of Hasnain's hands. I mean, normally those go down when 2 fielders go for it. Not much calling, but well, in the end, the catch was taken.
Yeah, just kept his cool there. It's really hard when you've got things going on in your peripheral vision someone coming towards you, but fairly standard chance. Phil Salt just beaten a little bit by the pace of Mohamed Hasnain there, going hard into the surface, just splicing that ball, looking to find the mid-wicket boundary again with a pull shot, but just finding the air, going up the chimney, as we call it, and nicely taken.
Caught by Mohamed Nawaz, actually, with the catch off Hasnain for 8. And England lose their first wicket. So a bit disappointing for Salt. 10 and 8 and 30 so far. His 3 opportunities at the top of the order. We were talking yesterday about the effective shootout between Hales and Salt at the top of the order to replace Johnny Bairstow in England's T20 side. With Bairstow out with injury, and Hales, Roy as well, I should say, has been left out. Here's Hasnain bowling to Jacks, who pushes that into the offside, sets off for a single, shy at the stumps, misses, and Jacks is home 19 for 1 in the 3rd over.
So David Malan was out first ball, I think, yesterday.
He was,
so
he was bowled around his legs.
Next game, when you're out first ball, always going through your head, don't happen again.
Yeah, it was and the bowler celebrated as if he bowled an absolute jaffa, but Malan just got across a bit too far. You always feel there often is when a batter's dismissed, an element of a back to error with the dismissal of Malan yesterday. The ball didn't do anything particularly, but he just lined it up incorrectly. Anyway, Malan has been good for England in T20 cricket. That's why he's in at number 3. He's going to take his first ball. Score is 19 for 1 in the 3rd over. And here is Hasnain with a slip in. Bowls to Malan. It's down the leg side. And it's a wide, signalled by Fazal Afridi. There's a sleight of hand there from wicketkeeper Rizwan, who collected the ball, then chucked it away straight away to the slip fielder. I don't know whether Hasnain was going for something similar to the delivery that dismissed Malan yesterday. Right across yesterday, Malan, looking to flick a full ball away. He probably thought this is a nice juicy ball to clip out towards deep backwards square leg off Dahani, but he missed it. And Hasnain trying something similar, and Malan missed it again, but it was down the leg side for a wide. This time it's outside the off stump, not much foot movement from Malan, tries to guide it away, misses it, and it's through to the keeper again. This time it's not a wide. 20 for 1, midway through the 3rd over.
Yeah, good pace there from Hasnain. Slip in place, looking to go across the left-handed David Malan and try and bring that slip into play. And I think you're right, Simon. I think first ball they were going to target his leg stump, just slightly too far to the leg side, just a wide down the leg side with that first ball. I think they feel that Malan moves slightly too far across to his off stumps and can be slightly exposed. But back to the plan, slip in, going across to the left-hander now. Hasnain
bowls, that was tight to off stump, guided away by Malan with an open face. Down towards Dahani on the deep 3rd boundary, sends in the return to Rizwan, and Malan is underway. So Jacks is 11, Malan is 1, Salt the man out for 8, caught by Nawaz, who just pinched the catch off the bowler Hasnain, who was going away to his left-hand side. I mean, it was an absolutely straightforward catch. It was a dolly, but 3 fielders converging and 2 nearly collided. And when that happens, when 2 players converge, normally there's a collision and the ball goes down, but it didn't happen this evening. Here's Hasnain bowling to Jacks to give himself some room, tries to flay it through the offside, misses it. It wasn't that far outside the off stump, but he'd gone so far to the leg side that he couldn't catch up with it, and it was through to Rizwan again. And another dot ball, 21 for 1 coming to the end of the 3rd.
Yeah, something Will Jacks does a lot, move around his crease quite laterally, tried to open up the offside there by moving outside of his leg stump, and it's something that he does particularly well in the shortest form of the game. And Mohamed Hasnain, be interesting to see how he counteracts that movement.
Here's Hasnain going into bowl to Jacks. It's outside the off stump. Jacks pushes forward, tries to guide it away on the offside, misses it. It's gone past the outside edge through to Rizwan. 21 for 1 after 3. Bob McNeil and Steve King have both been in touch. Does Curran for Curran count? I think it does.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So that has probably happened, hasn't it? Somewhere along the line, there probably has been a Curran for a Curran, either a Sam for a Tom or a Tom for a Sam. And Steve King says one Hollyoake replacing another, maybe. That was back in the day. So it's possible as well. You have to have a look at that. Anyway, I raised it because Wood is in for Wood today. England are 21 for 1 after 3 overs. Early thoughts, Heather?
Well, yeah, on that point, really good to see Mark Wood back. Lots of injuries. As I know at the moment, injury is not a particularly fun place to be, so nice to see Woody back in the side and hopefully back bowling with the sort of pace that's going to be really important for England's T20 World Cup bid out in Australia. Good start by Hasnain. I think he's bowled with good pace, threatened the outside edge. But England gone along quite nicely. Should be a good finish to the power play.
Dahani bowls to Milan outside the off stump. Big shot, thick edge, down towards deep third 4. It was the width there and across him. Milan threw everything at it. Thick edged it through about third slip, quite high. There is one slip in, but it was well away to his left hand side. He flashed hard there, and the short boundaries took it away quickly, and the deep third fielder could not get round away to his right hand side to stop it, and very quickly off Milan's blade down towards the boundary. So Dahani starts with 4. 25 for 1, start of the 4th over. Milan goes to 5. Given some width there by Dahani. He goes in now. Slip is at that second slip at the moment. Full forward goes Milan, and nearly a run out of the non-striker's end. Jacks there was looking to, well, try to pinch a single. And the throw came in, had to be sent back. And actually, by the time he'd gone for his ground, stretched for his ground, gone past the stumps, they probably could have got a run because it wasn't backed up, but he was in no position to take it. Milan initially set off. Let's have a look at the replay now. I think he would have been home, and actually I think it hit his bat, didn't it? The reason that it wasn't backed up is because it deflected off his bat into space, so they didn't take the single. They wouldn't have taken it any case, unless of course it goes for 4, as we know from the World Cup final, and those runs are legitimate. Dahani bowls. Milan tries to feather this down towards deep third, misses it past the outside edge with the angle there, through to Rizwan. 25 for 1, middle of the 4th.
It'd be interesting to see how the pitch behaves tonight. Moeen Ali talked about in the toss how he wasn't too sure how it was going to play. It can be quite hard to read there. I think they felt like they misread the pitch yesterday, and it looks very sort of shiny again, but also a little bit of wear and tear already, so shows the pitch might be a little bit tacky, and we saw that in the first game, potentially found a little bit of turn, so it'd be interesting to see how it plays tonight.
In theory, England have 4 spinners available to them. Dahani bowls full, clipped away by Milan through mid-wicket. It chases on out towards the boundary. 2 fielders rushing after it, and they are through for 2 runs, 3 runs. The lesser spotted 3 in T20, more likely to get them in the power play when the field is up and you don't quite hit the boundary. 28 for 1 in the 4th over, and Milan moves to 8. Jacks is on 11 on debut. I've just switched on. Alex Hales rested this evening. Willie left out, Wood left out, and Topley and Wood are back. Dahani moves into bowl to the right-handed Jacks, and Jacks thick edges this through second slip for 4. Well, that's the best place to hit them. And we saw a few off the blade of Alex Hales yesterday, and Will Jacks has followed in his footsteps. Outside the off stump, length, driven, second slip catch, no one at home, 4.
Yeah, not quite where he wanted it to go, but what I really like about Will Jacks, he looks really still actually at the crease. Looks like he has a really simple technique, just manoeuvres himself around the crease to try and open different areas. And I don't know what his test ambitions are, but I think he's got the technique potentially to play a lot of red ball cricket as well, Simon. He's
15 not out from 11. It's 32 for 1, last ball of the 4th over. That's full and smashed over mid-off for 4. One bounce, I think it just bounced in front of the rope, but that was just where you want them actually. A nice length outside the off stump, right in the hitting zone. That wasn't a great delivery from Dahani, especially in the power play. That's going to disappear. I think anyone's going to put that away. And Jacks relished it, smacked it away. Yeah, you keep bowling there, he and lots of other players will just hit that for 4.
Yeah, tad on the full side there from Dahani, and Jack's willfully obliging to the full ball and whacking it over mid-off, and just about 2 metres short from being a 6.
Yeah, that's probably the only disappointment. He didn't hit it for 6 because it was in the slot. And Jax moves to 19, so a promising start from him. 19 from 12 balls. A wonderful moment for him. James Taylor was with us yesterday, and we were talking about young talent. Of course, he has been the chief scout. He's been involved in England selection, and he said that the two players that really caught his eye, really have impressed him, have been Harry Brook and Will Jacks. Jacks mainly white ball for now, but who knows where it can lead. Brook, all 3 formats. 36 for 1. Here's Ralph into the attack for the first time today. Full first ball. He falls over as well, but it's a dot ball. Driven by Milan straight to mid-on. And there's no run. Picked up by Mohamed Hasnain. Phil Salt, the man, out for 8 today, off Hasnain. Caught by Nawaz. Another game on Sunday. And the last game on this ground. Karachi, and then 3 matches in Lahore, where we think that Jos Buttler might be involved. We're expecting perhaps Wood to play later in this series, but he's actually come in for the 3rd game. That's Mark Wood, and Jos Buttler's out there as well. He's been injured. He might play at the back end of this 7-match series, last couple of games. Ralph bowls to Milan. Milan, like much foot movement again, tries to force it away, misses it past the outside edge. And quite a lot of dot balls playing and missing, big shots being played, and Rizwan in the action quite a lot early on, the wicketkeeper collecting as England try to forge ahead. It's fair to say that very little foot movement from David Milan there.
No, there wasn't at all. Just classic trying to hit that ball through backward point, something he does so well, but not connecting on that occasion.
He's 8 from 8, 36 for 1 in the 5th. He looks up to see Ralph coming in to bowl to him. Another tight delivery to off stump. Much Milan felt he could do with that, guiding it away, pushing it towards backward point. And there's no run. Our old friend, the washing machine's back again, with the man on his... Well, today they've got rid of the rower, and now it's one of those cycling machines that apparently is making the washing machine go round. But we saw yesterday there was no one rowing or cycling, and the machine was still going round, so we know it's a con. Anyway, it's all a gimmick to advertise a washing machine brand in Pakistan. 36 for 1 in the 5th over. Milan waits. He gets one on his pads there, not that far away from the ball that got him yesterday. It struck him on the pad this time. He covered his leg stump with his pads. It was an appeal for LBW, but hugely optimistic from Dahani, because it was clearly pitching outside the leg stump. And they went through for a leg by. 37 for 1. The timer is counting down, but I don't think anyone's seriously considering that. And we are down to 0 now.
Just on Jos Buttler, Simon, I think it'd be really strange for him actually just to be there as a captain, but not being able to lead your side. I was obviously at the Commonwealth Games where I was injured, hoping to be fit towards the back end of the tournament, and Nat Siver took over the captaincy, and it's a really kind of strange dynamic. You're not sure sort of when to take over, or you obviously want to let the captain who's doing the job on the field do their role as well.
Ralph bowls to Milan, who drives it down the ground. That's a nice looking shot. He's hit that crisply. That's gone away for 4, and that's the end of the 5th over. 41 for 1. No, 1 ball to come. 41 for 1. Sorry, Jacks with the drive down the ground there. Just momentary looking at Heather, and wrapped up in that conversation about being unfit and still being sort of semi in charge of the side. So what did you do there? Did you get involved or not?
Yeah, a little bit. It actually gave me an opportunity to have more individual conversations with players, but also try and let Nat do her job and obviously lead things on the field and sink in the background in that way.
Jacks 23 not out, goes for a big drive. Hoiks that into the leg side. Really horrible looking slog, but it gets him 4. Again, the short boundaries, the quick outfield. You shouldn't be getting 4 for that. That's horrible swipe. He got thick inside edge on it, and the key there was he found the gap.
It was, and I think it shows how quick the outfield was. The fact that just skipped past the diving hand of mid-wicket. Very agricultural, lots of bottom hand there for Jacks, but mid-wicket was slightly more square than they normally might be, and the boundary is a boundary in the book.
45 for 1 after 5 overs. One more thought from you, Heather, and then Atif is coming in.
Yeah, reasonable start from England. Will Jacks going well, 27 off 14, showing what he can do at the top of the order. Obviously scores very quickly, and he's played a few shots that he hasn't quite middled, but he's got away to a really good start, and that will really settle his nerves, obviously, on his England debut. And Milan, starting as probably normally does, a little bit slower to get going sometimes. He's 8 off 10 balls.
Indeed. Wow, Will Jacks, what a debut from him so far. You know, high hopes, high expectations. I remember being at the Oval watching him score the second 100 in the men's 100 earlier this summer, and it really was remarkable hitting from him. Definitely one of the more exciting players on the England circuit. Hoping he's got a long career ahead of him. He's at the non-strikers end at the moment though. David Milan, former world #1, at the crease. And Shahnawaz Dahani at the top of his run to start his second over. His first was expensive, 15 from it. Who's going to finish the power play stronger? In he comes now to David Milan. This is short. Nearly takes a top edge on its way through to the keeper. And Shahnawaz Dahani gives a little stare to David Milan as well. The umpire, Halim Dar, signalling that's the one short ball for the overdone.
Yeah, big stare there to David Milan. He picked up a couple of wickets last night, 2 for 37, and his celebrations, Atif, wow, they were something else, weren't they? I think I even saw on Twitter that one catch that went up, that went down on the boundary, he was already off running towards the crowd and celebrating the wicket that obviously wasn't a wicket in the end, with the catch going to the turf.
Yeah, he's got that exuberance of youth. Very, very popular member of the side as well. Remember during the World T20 last year, the T20 World Cup, Pakistan was celebrating every win with a cake, and he'd take a slice of cake over to the other team every time. In comes Dahani again, a little dab from David Milan down to deep third, and Mohammad Hasnain does really well in a very fine third position, right on the boundary to stop the 4, and it's another single to score. 46 for 1 off 5.2, and yeah, Dahani, he would always take a little slice of cake, make sure everybody was having a slice of cake from the opposite team. Just really sort of energetic and smiley, positive member of the squad. I think he's well liked there. So even his stares, I think, are hard to take too seriously, because it sounds a bit patronising, but I think he's thought of as quite a cute member of the squad. Important
question: what type of cake?
Oh, they had all kinds of cake. Oh my goodness! I'll show you some pictures afterwards. It was very appetising. In comes Dahani again. Good length to Jacks, who plays this to backward point. They set off for a single quickly. And he's back at the non-strikers end. Will Jacks, a single there, keeping the strike rotating. Good pace as well from Dahani, 141 Ks. Yeah, there was some chocolate in there, some sort of standard sort of sponge, Victoria sponge going on, but all sorts of different kinds of cake in the celebrations, and it became a kind of Pakistani little mini trademark for them. After every win, they would celebrate with a cake. Yeah,
an interesting way to celebrate a victory. I'm not sure we'd get that one past our nutritionist, unfortunately.
Yeah, just think of all the unused cake after the semi-final. In comes Dahani again, down the leg side. Well stopped by Rizwan. It is signalled a wide by the umpire. England move on to 48 for 1. They had an excellent campaign in the World Cup, Pakistan, last year. Made it to the semi-finals before losing a close game to Australia. And one can only imagine what happened with the cake. I remember the cake that we had sent to us during the World Cup final in 2019 at Lord's. I don't know if you saw that, Heather, but it was beautiful. The sculpture of the two captains on top of it, a big helmet. It was so nice, you almost don't want to eat it. In comes Dahani again, better length this time and a better line, but squeezed out of a thick inside edge towards the leg side. And fielded by Haris Rauf in the leg side. Just a single to the score, 49 for 1. There's a few ice creams out there, all sorts of beverages out in Karachi. I see some iced tea. I think I see some kind of frappuccino situation. Maybe some cola.
A pint of iced tea.
Pint of ice. Well, you got to stay awake. It's it's hot out there as well. So loads of ice cubes in there, keeping you nice and refreshed. Enjoy some cricket live. An ice cream probably a tribute to Alex Hartley, who knows. 49 for 1. 2 balls to come in the power play. Here's the Hani again. Jax makes some room outside off and slaps that ball over the covers. A couple of bounces into the fence. There's a sign of the power that Will Jax has, as well as that very exciting brand of cricket that he plays. He moves on to 32 off 16. England 53 for 1, still with 1 ball to come in the power play.
He's got a real steely look in his eyes, Jax, hasn't he? Gave David Malan a little fist pump after hitting that 4 over the offside, and just looks very focused and quite calm as well. I think that's a really important trait that you want in a player excuse me, that comes in and makes their debut. You want them to be very calm and collected, and Will Jax looks that way so far.
And it's already been a very exciting debut from the young man from Surrey. The Hani runs in again to Jax. This is short, and Jax lofts this over the covers, just about over the covers. Babar Azam in pursuit. It's a very quick outfield. So that ball's trickling away towards the boundary, and it does get over the advertising sponge. There's 4 more to the score, so finishing the power play with a bit of a flourish. Here, Will Jax, as England move on to 57 for 1 from 6 overs. They've been put into bat, remember, by Pakistan. Moeen Ali at the toss said, well, we probably would have had a bowl first as well, but they put a good total on the board. Challenged Pakistan to try and repeat their heroics from yesterday. Right now, it's the Will Jax show in Karachi, and it's being enjoyed by the live crowd. Still buoyed by the win yesterday. As Heather Knight takes a break, and Paul Farbrish back in alongside me. Paul, very, very impressive debut from the young man from Surrey so far.
Yeah, I was just picking up on what Heather said earlier, how calm he looks, how still he is when the ball's actually released. He moves around in the crease to create space for his favourite shot, which is obviously over the offside and through the offside, but actually at the point of contact he's very still, very calm. He does look very focused, doesn't he? I mean, we all know he's a fantastic player. We all know that he strikes a superb ball. He's a very dangerous player. He can ruin a game very quickly. But I've been very impressed with this. And Heather's right. When you see a player start off in international cricket, you're looking for them to have something about them that excites you, that they've got a calmness, they've got a presence, that there's something about them that you just look at them and you think, yeah, you're right for this. You're destined to play international sport. Some players you see, and they look like rabbits in headlights, and they look like they don't belong. But he certainly looks like he is absolutely loving being front and centre.
Absolutely. And it's not just as simple as being a powerful person, somebody who hits the big shots all the time. There's a bit of a presence about him. He's only 23 years of age, so he's only going to get better and better as Will Jax. Very exciting prospect, and his job here is to try and create some headaches for the England selectors ahead of that deadline of the 15th of October, where they can change their squad. Now he's going to be tested by spin. Well, it's Malan who's on strike, and Usman Qadir who's about to come into the attack. Bit of leg spin from Pakistan.
Well, it's a famous leg spinning family name, isn't it? I mean, what a fantastic leg spinner we saw many years ago in Abdul Qadir.
Absolutely, it's his son Usman who's running into bowl now to David Malan, who gets the reverse sweep out. It's a bottom edge, but it beats the fielder. Has short third, and it's trickling away towards the boundary, and it gets there. Third up inside the circle. It's a good percentage shot, and well executed as well by Malan in the end. 61 for 1 wicket.
Yeah, a good shot for Malan. It's a safe shot. A little bit of room for him to get his hands through the ball, and as you say, didn't quite connect properly. Bottom half of the bat, but he's got it just past that short third man, and it's a very, very fast outfield. You beat the inner ring, and you're banking on 4 every single time, aren't you?
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for whoever's been mowing the lawn outside on the outfield. Looks very, very slick and very quick. Ball just kicking on off the surface. As in comes Usman Qadir. Short this time, it's been pulled up in the air and into the waiting hands of Heather Ali out at mid-wicket. David Malan, he's furious with himself. He's just picked out the fielder, and he has to go. The second wicket falls for England, 61 for 2, and it's the leg spinner Usman Qadir with the breakthrough.
Well, he could have hit that anywhere in Karachi, couldn't he? It's a short, wide delivery that he could have absolutely hit anywhere, and he's tried to hit it. I'm guessing he's probably tried to drag that a little bit too square. If he just looked to hit wide mid-on area, he's found himself a boundary, but he's dragged it out to deep mid-wicket. A comfortable catch, Hyder Ali. and Milan will be extremely disappointed. That's an absolute giveaway as far as he's concerned. It's a real giveaway, and it's one of those dismissals where you walk off, you can't make eye contact with anyone because you know and they know that's a dreadful shot to a dreadful ball.
Yeah. Well, he'll have to watch the rest of the action from the dugout. The man as Ben Duckett makes his way out to the middle, celebrating his partner's birthday yesterday. I don't think they're travelling together, so he put out a very sweet social media post paying tribute to his partner on her birthday, which I thought was very, very nice. He's out in the middle now. This is his 4th T20 international. Another player who's impressed in the 100 this season. He got his career best score in the previous game. I thought it was very impressive yesterday. Sort of went under the radar a little bit because Moeen Ali got the big 50, and obviously the two Pakistani batters put their carnage on, but he played a nice little innings in the middle there, Ben Duckett. He's on strike now to Usman Qadir, who comes in, bowls another short ball. Been pulled away, this time along the ground and in the gap as well at mid-wicket to the boundary. Duckett off the mark with a 4. Usman Qadir really struggling with his length there at the moment. England 65 for 2 of 6.3 overs.
Well, if if David Milan has got back into the change room just in time to look up at the screen and see that, he will be thinking, that's exactly what I should have done. The difference there is that Ben Duckett's hit it a lot straighter. He's rather than trying to drag it towards mid-wicket, he's hit it wider mid-on.
Usman Qadir a bit fuller that time. That's a better length for him, and played with a bit more respect by Duckett, just wide of the fielder at point. They run through for a single. And so Babar Azam in between overs, giving a right go, having a few words for his bowler. Something along the lines of, please pitch it a little bit fuller. You can hear Rizwan chirping away behind the stumps as well, offering encouragement. Will Jacks now face up to the leg spinner. In comes Usman Qadir, a bit fuller again, a bit flatter as well. And Jacks just works it to the onside, run through for a quick single and make it. That's the matchup you think Usman Qadir wants, really. He wants to bowl more to the right-hander, take the ball away from him, give himself a better chance. With Duckett, anything that falls short, you imagine, he could get punished. He was kind of laughing and smiling sheepishly in their celebration of Usman Qadir. You take them any way they come, though. In comes Qadir again to Duckett. Very full, but swept very, very fine. Again, it's running away towards the fine leg boundary, and it gets there. Another boundary for Ben Duckett. And England keeping that run rate above 10 and over. 71 for 2 after 7 overs. The hits keep coming.
Not a great deal of spin, not a great deal of grip there for Qadir, but the one thing that you will notice, the wicket that Milan got out to was a googly. So he's bowled the googly, so it's going across Milan. Even though we're talking about it being a short, wide delivery, with the ball going away from the left-handed batsman and then trying to drag it into the deep mid-wicket area, he's actually got bottom half of the bat and lobbed it to that deep mid-wicket. When Duckett came in, he had the same delivery, googly bowled, short, wide outside off stump, and he just looked to time the ball along the floor through mid-wicket. And it's very tempting when you get that short, wide ball to throw the kitchen sink at it and try and hit it out of the ground. But Duckett looks like the first person of this top 4 who's come in and timed the ball well from the start. The others have found it quite difficult to time the ball.
Nawaz in for his second over. Jacks just pushes that out towards mid-wicket for a single. Throw comes back. And England move on to 72 for 2.
Even though Jacks has played well, his first few balls, and Heather made notice of that pull shot that he tried to play, that he sort of bottom half through the deep mid-wicket boundary to get a boundary, get his first boundary. He didn't quite time the ball so well to start with, and Duckett looks like he's the first one who's come in and actually timed the ball reasonably nicely, that first shot through wide long on mid-wicket area.
Yeah, he's on 9 off 3 so far as Ben Duckett. Mohammad Nawaz in once again, back of a length, and just worked into the deep square leg area just in front of square for a single by Duckett, who's into double figures now. It's been very impressive the way he sort of accumulated runs in the middle phases of this game without taking too many chances, finding the boundary regularly as well. making a strong case for himself, as are a lot of these England batters at the moment. As in comes Nawaz to Jacks, who drives that down to long on for a single.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ben Duckett. I think Ben came on the Indian tour, Bangladesh tour a few years ago, and found it tough in India, but he always wanted to learn. He practiced really hard, and he really has taken his game to a new level. He looks a very, very accomplished player at the moment.
Nawaz into Duckett again, who pulls at this hard, doesn't really time it. Again, it goes out to that fielder in front of square in the leg side. They do take a single. Nawaz is a little bit quicker through the air as well. He's just trying to keep it wicket to wicket. If you can visualise a sort of, almost like Sanath Jayasuriya, he keeps it quite full when he's bowling. Nawaz into Jacks again, who flicks this away towards mid-wicket for a single. And the well bowled from Rizwan behind the stumps seem to imply Pakistan happy with this pace now. Much happier with that run rate dipping below 10. You don't really want to have to chase 200 2 days in a row, do you?
Well, I guess if your top pair knock it off and not losing a wicket, then you're pretty quite comfortable and quite confident.
Nawaz into Duckett, who once more just tickles this around the corner to square leg, behind square leg this time. And they'll take just a single to complete the 8th over. A good one from Nawaz, just 6 from it. England 77 for 2 after 8 overs. And, for every wicket that falls, 50,000 rupees. It's donated to the flood relief efforts by one of the organisations, one of the sponsors out there. There's a donation of $1,000 per 6 as well, which is good. They're accumulating decent. I mean, there weren't too many donations for wickets yesterday with the way England were bowling, but they'll certainly hope for more in the kitty today.
Absolutely right, and definitely the right thing to do. It's an interesting surface, isn't it? The odd one from the seamers has almost tennis ball bounce through, and yet the spinners look like they're getting the ball to skid at the batsman. A lot of balls hitting the top of the bat.
Usman Qadir in, big reverse sweep from Duckett, got into position very early and middled it nicely. It runs away to the boundary in the covers, which effectively turned into square leg. And I just hear Rizwan behind the stumps in Urdu saying, "Ye bahut acha shot mara," which literally means he just hit a really good shot. So he's got his endorsement as Ben Duckett.
That's a fantastic cricket shot. He swapped his feet round, changed his hands, and he's absolutely nailed that square of the wicket. Magnificent shot that from Ben Duckett, really showing he has got the pace of this pitch.
Usman Qadir in again, another full ball, swept conventionally this time by Duckett. Picks out Shan Masood, that deep backward square leg, and just a single on that occasion. Usman Qadir, he's leaking a lot of runs. It's not entirely his fault. He was short initially, but right now it just looks like Ben Duckett has the measure of him.
Yeah, I think Ben, he sweeps and reverse sweeps exceptionally well. He's played 2 successive sweeps and really high-class cricket shots.
Usman Qadir into Will Jacks, who's played this aerially out towards mid-wicket, and the catch is taken. It was very low down to Mohammad Nawaz. He did well to hold on to it. Will Jacks getting the toe end of the bat, not getting the distance. And after an impressive debut where he scored 40 of 22 deliveries, Will Jacks must depart and England lose their 3rd wicket. 82 for 3 off 8.3 overs. Though Will Jacks shakes his head as he walks off, I think he's made a very, very impressive debut here.
He's played exceptionally well, but he will be very frustrated that haven't got the pace of the wicket now. Timing the ball as nice as he is, he's picked out that deep mid-wicket and slapped it straight to him. A good catch. It is a good catch, but it'll be disappointed to have got out for 40. 22 balls, he's played exceptionally well. The England management will be looking at him and saying, this lad is a fine prospect. We all knew that, but to actually see someone come into their debut, play as well as he has, really look like he belongs, really look like he's enjoying international cricket, very confident, and as I say, the longer it went, the better he played, but he will be massively disappointed to have got out in the way that he's got out. He could have picked anywhere to have hit that on the leg side, and he slapped it straight down deep mid-wicket's throat. Yeah,
he will be disappointed with that mode of dismissal for sure. And Usman Qadir, well, he must feel like it's his birthday. 2 really, really ranked deliveries have got him 2 wickets today.
And it always amazes me. They bowl certainly the first dismissal. He's bowled a long hop which has been slapped to deep mid-wicket, and they celebrate as though that was the plan. That's exactly how I was going to get him out. And they point to someone in their team as if to say, great plan.
Harry Brook, the new batter, he's on strike as well. And Gets a thick inside edge towards square leg. Gets off the mark, first ball. He's all smiles at the moment is Usman Qadir. And as you say, he was pointing towards Babar Azam. That was apparently the plan. He just kind of celebrated that. It was captured quite nicely by the broadcaster as well, that celebration. But yeah, I think you're right. There was a little bit of relief mixed in there, for sure. Usman Qadir into Ben Duckett, who's on the sweep again. Doesn't get a hold of it this time. That fielder at short fine leg up inside the circle.
Let's be honest though, there's many times when you bowl brilliantly and you go for runs in T20 cricket. Yeah. There's other times when you bowl poorly and you pick up wickets. So it does balance itself out. It does even itself out. So why not celebrate? It is a game about entertainment as well, isn't it?
You'd think so. In comes Usman again, very full, and Ben Duckett. Take a wild guess what he did, guys. He swept out towards mid-wicket for a single. That completes Usman Qadir's second over. Better looking return from him now. 2 for 21 from 2. England 84 for 3 off 9. Duckett on 18 off 10. And Harry Brooks just played the 1 ball for 1. Still plenty of batting to come for England as well, with Moeen Ali, the captain, to come. Terrific 50 from him yesterday. Reached it in 30 balls. Beg your pardon, 20 balls. Big hits from him after being put down in the deep by Mushdal Shah. And Sam Curran to come in as well. Curran, of course, presented Will Jacks with his first cap. His Surrey teammate. We've got Liam Dawson, who was very impressive with the ball yesterday, as was Adil Rashid. And then Topley and Mark Wood. Plenty of batting to come in the next 11 overs for England. As Mohammad Nawaz continues to Ben Duckett, who attempts a sweep, doesn't connect with it this time, and the ball drops just short of him. And he was hugged from behind by Rizwan as he picked up the ball. As Stephen Finn confirmed the other day, he does like to hug a lot. He's a huggy kind of guy. It's Mohammad Rizwan. It's good to see a bit of friendliness on the pitch as well between the teams. Now then, Ben Duckett on strike. In comes Mohammad Nawaz. And Duckett on the drive this time, out towards deep extra cover. Think about the second, just for a second. The throw from Shan Masood is good, so just a single. Mohammad Nawaz, I get the feeling, is picked up on the fact that Duckett is keen to sweep in, pushing the ball as quickly as he can, trying to get that under edge into play, get that LBW into play. Trying to just pull this England total back a little bit at the moment, Pakistan. 85 for 3. Nawaz into Harry Brook, who waits on this one, gets an under edge onto his right pad, and there is another dot ball.
It's a good point you make, because Nawaz there is looking to bowl just that sort of hip height into the new batsman Brook, but he's looking to bowl very full and get the ball under the bat of Duckett, who's played the sweep really well. So rather than going short and giving room to sweep it, he's trying to get under his bat all the time.
And again, he goes very full as Brook comes down the track and drives, but picks out Iftikhar at long on, and they just take a single. And Rizwan behind the stumps just counted from 1 to 4 to point out that all 4 shots have gone towards the onside. As he points and smiles. Now the Nawaz at the top of his run. There's definitely a bit of Sanath Jayasuriya in the way he's bowling at the moment. And he comes again now to Harry Brook, and just on a length outside the leg stump and driven towards square leg. They're coming back for a second. This will be tight. Oh, it wasn't a good throw from the deep. There's a little bit of hesitation from the England batters out in the middle before going for that second. It was Haris Rauf with the throw. It was just wide of the stumps, and you get the feeling, had it been right over the stumps, they could have been in trouble. It was Harry Brook who was settling off a little bit late. In fact, the throw, maybe it should have gone the other end towards the bowlers. Decided to...
Had it gone to the bowl, you're absolutely right, had it gone to the bowler's end, Harry Brook was treading water, wasn't he? He wouldn't have got anywhere near the crease. Ben Duckett, fantastic dive, but comfortably in fact, past the back line before the stumps have been broken. But good running from Duckett, and Harry Brook just probably needs to back up a little bit more. He made that very hard work for himself in the end.
88 for 3 England. 1 ball to come in the 10th over. Nawaz into Duckett, again back over length and just played out towards mid-wicket. They take another single. I'll tell you why I keep bringing up Sanath Jayasuriya, because I've watched him in action recently in one of these senior tournaments. I think it's called the Senior World Series or something along those lines. And he was still playing at the ripe old age of 53 years old, and in fact against the England seniors team he ended his 4 overs with a return of 3 wickets for 3 runs. As effective as ever.
I can see from behind his starting approach into the stumps. I can see Sanath Jayasuriya, short run up, and I can absolutely see what you're talking about. The only thing I think Sanath would be delighted with you is that his arm probably never got quite as high. Sanath's arm was a little bit lower, a little bit more round arm, and he fired the ball into the base of the stump. So I think you're being exceptionally kind to Sanath there.
Well, we live to flatter here on TMS. We'll be live for all 7 of these games on 5 Sports Extra. England, after 10 overs, are 89 for 3. Your thoughts on the first half of this innings so far, Paul? And then you're going to be rejoined by Simon Mann.
Yeah, I think England will be reasonably happy. I think 1 or 2 of the batters will be disappointed with their shots that they've got out to when they felt they probably... I think all 3. Salt was definitely done by the pace, as Heather was saying earlier. He got done by the pace. The ball's hurried onto him, hit the top of the bat, lobbed up for what turned out to be a comfortable catch despite the collision between the 2 fielders. And then the other 2, Jackson Milan, will both be massively disappointed. Both in, playing quite nicely, and have picked out really poor shots to the fielder at deep mid-wicket that they could have hit absolutely anywhere in Karachi. And Duckett has shown probably... Jack's has played powerfully, has hit the ball cleanly, but Duckett probably is the one who's actually timed the ball better than anyone.
They're 2 very different types of players, aren't they, Duckett and Jacks? More finesse about Duckett's game in T20. There was a lot of sweeping, both reverse sweeping and conventional sweeping, and he did it yesterday as well. He played really nicely and then got too far over and was bowled round his legs off stump. You don't see that happen very often. You also don't see a spinner knock out the off stump.
No, you don't. you certainly don't. I think Duckett, as I said, when he first played for England, he found it quite tough, and he found the conditions in India quite difficult. But the one thing I admired about him was he kept working very hard. He got stuck in, he practiced hard, he worked with Mark Ramprakash a lot on his game, and he really has kicked on and developed. And watching him play for Notts recently, last couple of seasons, I think he looks a very fine player, very accomplished, very calm, knows his game really well now, and I think this time back in the team, I think he'll take some shifting.
Yeah, the other thing about him as well, he's I think only 27. He's actually 28 on the 17th of October, so there's a bit of time on his side. It's not as though he was out for quite a long time of international cricket, but because he plays so young, he's come back, second coming. He's still got some time to make an impact.
Definitely, and I think he's probably really coming into his prime now as a batter. He really knows his game, he understands his game, he understands his strengths, and I think he just looks a lot more comfortable with himself. He's not trying to be something that he isn't. He knows his game, he understands his game, and that's a really important factor to be successful at any level, but certainly at international level. To be consistent, you've got to know what your game looks like. You've got to feel your game and understand your game, and that's something I think he's worked really hard to get to.
The players have had drinks halfway stage of the innings. 89 for 3 after 10 overs. Yesterday, when England made 199, at the halfway stage they were 80 for 2, so they've lost an extra wicket today, but they're 9 runs further on. But they did have a very good second 10 yesterday. Moeen Ali to the fore with 55 not out from 23 balls. Played really well. Hit the last 2 balls for 6. So Duckett and Brooke are together. England looking for something spectacular in the last 10. Kadir bowls, swept by Duckett inevitably. Top edge this time. On the bounce out towards deep backward square leg. Picked up by Shan Masood. And they're through for a single. 90 for 3. Start of the 11th over. Now, we've had some replies earlier to the question I posed about players with the same name replacing someone in the team wood for wood today, but all of them so far have been brothers. So the Hollyoaks, the Currans. Here's a ball outside the off stump from Usman Kadir. It's forced away but not really timed by Brooke towards extra cover, and there's no run, and we've had War, but are there anyone who are not related? So not related. There's your challenge. Here's Kadir bowling, and Brooke hits this high in the air, down the ground, out towards long on and over it, onto the grassy bank in front of the cage that surrounds the ground. And just an indication actually that the boundaries are in. And there's a lot of grass behind the advertising board and the rope. And Harry Brooke dancing down the pitch there, nice feet, hit it onto that grass over the boundary rope for 6.
That's a fantastic cricket shot. He's used his feet brilliantly, got to the pitch of the ball and has absolutely middled it over long on. Superb shot, great balance, great striking.
He's on 8, 96 for 3. That's another full delivery, which is driven nicely by Brook in conventional terms. Nice, pleasing extra cover drive. The only problem is it only gives him a single. You just need the outside edge, don't you? The inside edge, taking it to the boundary for 4 at fine leg or deep third. That's where you can really benefit. If you could do that, if you could deliberately edge it. Didn't they say that Javed Mayandad used to deliberately edge the ball against the spinners? I'll come back to that in a moment as Duckett takes strike from Usman Qadir. As outside the off stump, drag sweep out towards deep mid-wicket. 2 fielders out there. Throw is rifled in on the bounce. Only a single. 98 for 3. So if he was facing the spinners and he actually thought, I can actually take this bloke apart, he would deliberately inside edge the ball onto his pad, bring the field in, and then he would just start smacking it everywhere with the field in because he was such a good player. Anyway, that's the story about Javed Mayandad. And he would lull you into a full sense of security. Wide from Usman Qadir, and that's slapped away over extra cover by Brook for another 6. This time it hits the fence, got it over the grass. Well, fine shot. It was wide and very full from Qadir. That's another 6, and England's 100 is up. 104 for 3, good over for them. 11 gone, Brook onto 15, 2 6s in the over, Duckett's on 24.
Well, I'm not sure about you inside nicking onto pad with Javed Mayandad, but that is an outstanding shot from Harry
You don't
Brook.
believe me? Don't believe that story?
No, I don't believe you for one second. I think you're teasing me on there, but I like it. That's the sort of thing I like to hear, because it's one of the great things about the game, isn't it? It's that sort of folklore, that sort of story that excites you about the game.
Yeah.
That shot excites me even more. That Harry Brook using his feet brilliantly and kept his shape. His top half was superb, shoulders aligned, and just hit that over extra cover. That is a magnificent cricket shot. He's played 2 absolutely brilliant shots.
Right, here is Nawaz bowling, left arm round to the left hander. It's outside the line of his pads. He sweeps it away towards deep back with square leg. He might have been able to leave that and take a wide, but you feel you want to hit it. You're in that mode. It felt it was there to be hit, and he picked up a single. But most of Duckett's innings have been sweep shots or reverse sweep shots so far, and it's been effective, and Brook's played in a different way. Duckett's on 25, Brook on 15, 105 for 3, start of the 12th over. Mohamed Nawaz, a slow left armer, wearing his green boots. He's in his final over. He's gone 0 for 23, so steady from him tonight, especially if he can get through this over. Bowls to Brook. Brook goes back, nudges it into the onside, 3 deep mid-wicket for a single, picked up by Shan Masood, playing his 3rd T20 international this evening. And yet to really register, because he didn't bat yesterday, and then on Tuesday he didn't get many, out for 7. 106 for 3 in the 12th. Nawaz bowls to Duckett, another sweep shot, peel for LBW. It's gone over the keeper's head. This has gone away for 4. Such a quick outfield and short boundaries as well. What's this come off? It looks like it came off the pad, but it ballooned in the air over Rizwan's head. Has he got something on this, or is it leg buys? Let's have a look at the replay. No, he's actually toe-ended that. I thought for a moment it come off the pad, but he toe-ended that over the keeper's head. And just making the point, if you can do that, then you're going to have a very successful career in T20. You can play off the edge, down the ground behind you. And this time a more conventional shot from Duckett brings in 4 more. Right out in the middle of the bat, firm sweep, hit really hard. While he's sweeping his way here, Ben Duckett very successfully towards another decent score. He's 33 not out, and England beginning to put some pressure on Pakistan here in these middle overs. Successive boundaries from Duckett, one a bit fortuitous off the toe end over the keeper's head, and one sumptuous sweep shot. 114 for 3. Duckett is 33 from 19 balls, and he's hit 5 fours. Brook is 16 at the non-striker's end. And just a break here while Duckett pulls away. Nawaz is bowling left arm round to the left-hander. Goes in now and bowls. And Duckett turns this backward a square. He's looking for 2 here, but Brook's not interested. He set off quickly, Duckett, and realised quite early on there was only ever going to be 1. 115 for 3. If England go on their current run rate, they'll get 194. Which is pretty close to what they managed yesterday. They're 115 for 3. Last ball of the 12th coming up. And here is Nawaz moving in to bowl to Brook. He's down the pitch. He wanted to get down and underneath that, but it was fired in by Nawaz. So he checked the shot and turned it into the onside for a single out to deep mid-wicket. One more to Brook. He keeps the strike. He's 17. England on 5 Sports Extra, 116 for 3 with 8 overs left. The disbelieving Paul Farbrace has gone. He didn't like my Javed Miandad story. Didn't believe it. Anyway, she liked the story, but he didn't believe it. Heather Knight is back.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to be back.
So England making reasonable progress now, Heather.
Yeah, they've gone along really nice. I think Harry Brook has gone sharply out the blocks again, started really quickly, using his feet really well to the spinners and looking to target them down the ground. And I think one thing he does really well, actually, he gets his bat, sort of toe of his bat pointing really high, which means he uses his wrists, and that's why he gets so much power when he does come down and hits through the ball. Yeah, looks like a very bright prospect, and he's certainly impressing so far in this T20 series.
Yes, really good the other day, or yesterday, with his 43 from 22. What England didn't have yesterday was a player to really go on and get a big score, 80, 90, something like that. Here is Kadir bowling, guided away by Brooklyn, over face towards short third. They're off a quick single, the throw was a bit wide, right over the bails, or a direct hit there. And the non-striker may have been struggling. I mean, you feel there shouldn't have been a single there. It was hit quite firmly with an open face, straight to short third. And they set off for the single. The throw was a bit wide, but they are so quick. 117 for 3. Usman Khadir bowls to Ducky's right across, gets a full toss, which he swats away for 4 runs. Well, that was that move across that we saw yesterday that led to his downfall. The ball was on the stumps, but it was a nice, juicy full toss in a nice hitting area, just around about knee height. And, well, you probably earned that, the way Duckett has played.
I wonder if they call him Chimney, Simon.
121 for 3. Duckett to 38. Usman Khadir bowls outside the off stump, dabbed away by Duckett. Can't sweep that one. They're looking for 2, but too close to Nawaz coming in from deep extra cover. Go on, enlighten me. 122 for 3 in
so
the
Ben
13th.
Duckett has probably scored about 35 of his 39 runs from various sweep shots.
Ah, right, of course. I should have got that.
Dreadful joke. Apologies.
Khadir bowls. Brook goes back, tucks it into the onside towards deep mid-wicket. Well, they should do, shouldn't they? I mean, he does in this. Well, in this series, he has just about swept everything. What's Atif showed you there? Showing you a photograph on his phone of something or other.
Oh, there you go. England's Barmy Army have superimposed Ben Duckett's face on a chimney sweep. So
Right.
I was a bit late to the party on that one.
Khadir into bowl to Duckett. Another sweep shot, taking it from outside the off stump. Hits it well, but straight to deep mid-wicket. This time picks out the man on the rope. And it's only a single, and Duckett's in the 40s again, as he was yesterday. And this is where he couldn't go on and really nail that big score, that 70 or 80 that can be so decisive in these T20 matches. Duckett 40, England 124 for 3. Last ball coming up at the 13th over, and the last ball of Usman Khadir as well. It's down the leg side, swept away by Brook. That was a gift. That's 4. He could have left that and taken the wide. He said, "Thanks very much. I'll have a bit of that. I'll sweep it away for 4." That was a poor delivery. And Usman Khadir, he's picked up a couple of wickets. He probably didn't really deserve them, to be honest. And he's also gone for 48. So England have dealt with him pretty well this evening. It's the end of Usman Khadir. And England have moved to 128 for 3 from 13 overs.
Yeah, and they've used up both of their spin bowling overs. So obviously Khadir and Nawaz, apologies, I forgot that one. Nawaz, they've used them both up. That's something that Pakistan do quite regularly. They use their spin bowlers a little bit in the power play. I saw Nawaz bowling the second over again today, and they use those spin bowlers up really fast. So 13th over, going to have 7 overs like live seam, and that's a trend that Pakistan tend to do. Their tactics are to go heavy with seam at the end and try and take wickets and limit runs at the death via that route.
Yeah, 5 bowlers for Pakistan. England have more options. They had 6 last night. They've actually got 7 today. If they wanted to use Jacks, Paul Farbrace was saying he doesn't think Jacks will get a go with the ball today, but England do have the extra option, as Pakistan are committed to the 5, or at least yesterday they used 5. There's a bit of occasional spin as well, isn't there, in that Pakistan lineup. Right, it's going to be Haris Rauf to bowl the 14th over. He's bowled 1 over so far, so yeah, he'll bowl 3 of the last 7. He sets off that right arm pace that he provides for Pakistan. It's full, it's driven away by Duckett for a single, square with the wicket on the offside. Takes him to 41. Not sure if he's sweeping the paces from here. He might do. The dab sweeps that players play, the ramp shot. We'll see whether Duckett's prepared to get that stroke out. I saw Brook attempting a little dab yesterday. It led to his downfall. Playing very nicely. He was one of the wickets for Haris Rauf yesterday. Brook 23 not out from 12 balls, 129 for 3. England got a good base from which to attack here in the last 7 overs. Here's Rauf bowling, and Brook does attack. He swings it high into the night sky, out towards deep back with square leg, and quite close to the fence, well over the advertising board, and that's another 6 for Harry Brook. And really well struck. I know it led to his downfall at the Oval, but it's a strong shot for him. He goes leg side to start with, but he does have a very firm and still base once he's moved. So he moves and then stops. And it was dug in by Rauf, hit high out towards deep back with square leg. Fine stroke from Brook.
Wasn't particularly short either, was it, Simon? Just sort of that hip height, and that's a shot that's really important in T20, being able to get under that ball and swivel off the hip.
Rauf bowls, 50 partnership is up, dabbed away by Brook for a single to the bowler's left in his follow through. 1 more to the total. Brook to 30. The partnership worth 54 now off 30 balls. After Milan has caught a deep mid wicket for 14. Jacks caught a deep mid wicket for 40, and Salt caught in the mid off area when 2 fielders very nearly collided. He was out for 8. Hales rested today. And, England replacing 2 bowlers. David Willey's not had a great time of it so far. 85 runs in 7.3 overs in this series without taking a wicket. Rauf bowls, tucked away by Duckett towards mid-wicket. They're off for a single. Shy at the stumps, the non-striker's end hits Duckett as he goes to make his ground. He would have been in any case. Throws a bit wide. 137 for 3 in the 14th over. So Hasnain's got 2 left. He's 1 for 10 so far. Dewani's got 2 overs 27, and Rauf's got 2 overs left after this one. The spinners tonight have gone for 8 overs, 2 for 82. Haris Rauf rushes in, bustling run, bowls to Brook, who tries to swing him away into the leg side, completely miscues it, goes through mid-on, out to Kushal Shah, who's fielding it long on, and they get a single. 138 for 3.
Yeah, he needed the chalk for that one. That was right off the toe end of the bat, trying to swivel it round the corner again towards that deep square leg boundary, but managed to hit it in the V off the toe end of the bat. Very impressive. I don't think he could do that again if he tried.
There's been plenty of miscuing tonight, but also some sweet strokes, not least from the bat of Ben Duckett. Now how is he going to cope with the pace of Rauf? Goes into Bolton, gives himself some room, dabs it away into the offside for a single. There's an intent there from Duckett, but ultimately couldn't do much with that. Rather than dab it away into the offside. So we're through 14 overs now. 139 for 3, and it feels as if England continue to make this sort of progress, they'll be on for a similar score to the one they achieved yesterday. 199 for 5 yesterday, 139 for 3 with 6 overs left today.
Yeah, Ben Duckett moving to the same score that he got yesterday in the evening game, 43. A little bit slower today, it's 22 balls to get to that landmark when he got out last night. He's faced 26 balls now, and as you said earlier, Simon, he'd be looking to push on. I think that was probably the difference between the two sides, and probably the difference between the approaches of the two sides yesterday. The Pakistani batters obviously scored those really big match-defining scores. England probably lots of 30s and 40s, and probably that's the approach. They go really hard, England, and sort of pass the bat on onto the next batter, whereas Pakistan look to build.
New over, Hasnain bowls to Duckett, who plays an extraordinary shot. He goes right across and then plays a sort of semi-ramp shot and deflects it through fine leg for 4. So the bowler following him, it was deftly played. I mean, another remarkable stroke going down towards the fine leg boundary on the bounce.
Actually really well bowled by Hasnain, just followed Ben Duckett, and he's done remarkably well to get the middle of the bat on that and guide it down to the deep fine leg boundary, which is vacant of fielders at the moment.
Yeah, not bad bowling and really a remarkable improvisation. Duckett to 47, 143 for 3. Hasnain bowls, Duckett turns into the onside, bit of hesitation, off for a single shot at the stumps, the non-strikers. Again, was a bit half-hearted in the end. Duckett was going to be home, and Duckett moves to 48, and in his very small T20 international career, this is now his highest score. His highest score was yesterday, 43. This is his 4th innings. His highest international score, 63. That was in a one-day international. He's only played 3 of those, and he's made a half century in Test cricket as well. He's played 4 of those. So he's 48 not out for now, though. It's Brook on strike. Hasnain moves in, bowls to Brook, very full, turned away by Brook. He's right in at his toes there. It was a good delivery from Hasnain. Brook gets a single. 32 to him, 145 for 3 in the 15th.
Yeah, Duckett not in the T20 World Cup squad, obviously, but he's showing the England management and captains what he can do. And obviously with Ben Stokes' retirement, there's a gap that's opened up in the white ball team in the 50 over format. So this will certainly go down as some money in the bank, shall we say, to be first in line potentially to take on that role. I think it's something that he can do. Paul talked about earlier how he knows his game very well.
Hasnain bowls, Duckett plays into the onside through towards mid-wicket, just to the left of the fielder there, gets a single, and he moves to 49, and England to 146 for 3. And the point we were making yesterday, the next World Cup, 50 over World Cup, is in India in a year's time, just over a year's time, Men's World Cup. And so, yeah, you're not just putting your hand up for T20, you're also putting a thought into the coach's mind about your potential for playing on these sort of pitches against spinners, using the sweep shot, reverse sweep shot. Hasnain to Brook. That's down the leg side. That's going to be a wide. Pakistan took a long time to bowl a wide yesterday. I think it was about the 13th over. One more added to the total. This is their 3rd wide today. 147 for 3. A little bonus for England, who've actually got the chance here, Heather, to go beyond the score they made yesterday if they bat really well. 199 yesterday. Still 5 overs left after this one. We might be hoping for a bit more than 10 and over from here. Hasnain moves in, bowls to Brook, gives himself some room, opens the face, plays that really skillfully for 4. Beautiful shot towards deep backward point, wide 3rd area. It's just so skillfully threaded between 2 fielders, to the left of backward point and to the right of deep 3rd, using the pace.
Nearly outside leg stump, that ball, and he's managed to guide it wide of 3rd man, and it looks so hard to defend, doesn't it? And that's where as a bowler and as a captain you really have to focus on your angles, because you're not going to stop it in the ring or on the boundary if it's a couple of metres either side of you.
Yeah, fast outfield, short boundaries, hard to contain. 151 for 3, Brook to 36. Hasnain bowls to Brook, very full on the toes, turned away towards deep backward square leg. This time he picks out the man, and you feel as a bowling side, if they do hit it crisply but straight to the fielder on the boundary, you've actually done a good thing. You've done your job, because scooting across this outfield. Right, are England going to get 200 tonight? Will it be enough? Depends if they can break that opening stand. Pakistan have 152 for 3, 5 overs left. More from you, Heather, and then until the end of the innings and beyond, it will be Atif Nawaz.
So the 3rd 50 for England has come off only 23 balls, so shows the value of this partnership from Ben Duckett. and Harry Brook, they've put on an outstanding partnership. They're really building a base for England to go really hard at the death. 5 overs to go, 152 for 3, and I think they'll be looking to push above that 200 mark. They'll be wary, obviously, of what happened last night. They need to make sure, as Paul mentioned earlier, they don't go overly hard to try and get a total that would have been affected last night. They've got to play the new game, and England's batting order so far are doing just that.
They are indeed. They're accelerating nicely. The first 50 came from 35 balls, the second from 31, and the third from just 23 deliveries. With 30 balls to go, they'll want to get the next 50 even faster. And this is the advantage of for Pakistan. They chased down 200 yesterday. It puts a sense of doom and gloom on the team batting first. Like, how many is enough? Well, the best thing you can do is put as many on the board as possible. They look poised to do better than they did yesterday. In comes Shahnawaz Dahani. Big pull shot from Harry Brook. Again, not quite timed, but what a quick outfield. Is it going to run away to the boundary? Nearly. It's Heather Ali out there doing the fielding. Keeps it from the boundary, but another couple to the score for Harry Brook. He's on to 39 off 19. And then 154 for 3. And, well, this is going to be a challenge for this young Pakistani bowling attack as well. At the death against batters looking to come at them. Still got Moeen Ali to come in, of course, as well. This is a pressure scenario for them as well. Harry Brook on strike, going at more than 200 at the moment. In comes Dahani into Brook, who drives that back to the bowler, who fields in his follow-through and has a shy at the keeper's end. He doesn't miss, but he gave him the stare. And again, I mean, we talked about this earlier, Heather. It's hard to be too affected. It's hardly like a, like a Glenn McGrath style stare, is it?
It's not I'm going to bring you some cake after the game sort of stare either, is it?
But the thing is, you know that he probably will, so you know it's hard to take seriously.
Very passionate though, things you love to see. Bit of competition between batter and bowler.
In comes Dahani now to Harry Brook. This is short again, guided nicely by Harry Brook, through where first slip would have been, but very, very intentional, all the way to the deep third boundary for 4. He's pierced gaps brilliantly today. England on to 158 for 3.
Yeah, the fielder, short third man, didn't move there. He was like one of those statue slips in table cricket. Have you seen those? Hands on his knees, crouched down, didn't move an inch.
I used to love that game. There were so many different versions of it. The one I had was called World Cup Cricket, and you had those little statues with the ring underneath them for the catches. Great game. So wholesome. Kids of this generation will never know on their video game consoles and phones. Dahani into Brook. This is short, it's a slower ball, and it's deceived Brook outside off stump. Good change of pace from Dahani. It goes through to the keeper on the bounce for no run. The score remains 158 for 3. Yeah, it was great fun. I used to love that tabletop cricket. You'd come up with an imaginary 11. Did you play it as a kid?
I didn't. I played it for the first time in Australia, actually. An Australian friend who's a little bit older than me was very shocked that I hadn't played it, so they bought it for Christmas whilst I was playing in the Big Bash for Hobart Hurricanes one year.
It's great fun. How did you get on?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good.
It's quite hard.
It is hard. It's harder than it looks. Dahani into Brook. This is short. It's been pulled away. This is massive from Harry Brook. Over the mid-wicket boundary into the cage for 6. No stare that time from Dahani. That's all Harry Brook. He moves on to 49 from 23 deliveries. England 164 for 3.
It was a quick plie and straight back to his mark there from Dahani, wasn't it? It was just a length ball, brilliantly picked up by Harry Brook. Just bringing the bat from low to high to lift it over the mid-wicket boundary, and that's a really hard shot to play. He's just picked up length brilliantly there, and just a really nice, pure swing of the bat.
Yep. Harry Brook, another one of these really, really exciting prospects in this team. He's maybe slightly further along in his development. We've seen him play Test cricket for England with success. This is the format where he's getting international recognition at the moment. As I mentioned before, he scored 100 in the PSL before. He's on strike now on 49. In comes Dahani. This is full. It's been driven uppishly to the backward point boundary by Harry Brook. What a superb innings this has been from him. He goes to 50, 53 of 24 deliveries, a quite outstanding innings. He's applauded by his entire team on the dugout and the fans in the National Stadium in Karachi. Steady ovation for the young man from Yorkshire. Just his 7th match in T20 international cricket and his very first 50, and it's been a very impressive one, Heather.
It has been. He's looked very calm, very composed, and just played proper cricket shots. He looks like a very classical batter, just uses the crease really cleverly. We see it there, just moving to the leg side. Not a massively bad ball by Dahani, just going to his Yorker, slightly missing it, probably by about a couple of centimetres, but Brook just managed to get his bat underneath the ball and get that elevation to lift it through the point region and pick up 4. Very impressive innings.
And his innings, a big part of England's success so far today. 168 for 3, still 4 overs to go in this innings. You'd expect England to go beyond 200 here. How far beyond? And how much of a challenge will it pose for the Pakistan side that beyond its openers hasn't really been tested so far in this series? I mean, in comes Haris Rauf to Ben Duckett, who tried to carve that through the covers. He misses it. Good pace on that as it goes through to the keeper. Valuable dot ball for Pakistan. Take a look at that last shot again from Harry Brook. Again, he didn't try and hit it too hard. He knew exactly where the field was and the gap that he wanted to pierce. I mean, perfectly in between the two fielders. That's the kind of awareness you expect from your batters in T20 cricket. Somebody in the Karachi Stadium holds up a sign that says "I love England," which is nice, isn't it? The next ball's been played into the onside by Duckett. That'll take him to his half-century as well. Terrific innings from Duckett. Unlucky to miss out on a half-century yesterday. Today, he does cross over that milestone. 50 for him in 31 deliveries. And it's also his first T20 international 50 from his 4th match. So a couple of milestones for these England batters, and plenty of England fans in the National Stadium Karachi. Seen some England flags, seen I love England signs, thank you England signs. It's great support.
Yeah, it's been lovely actually. I think everyone in Pakistan is grateful that England have finally gone out there and realised what a historic moment it is for sport in their country to have those ties with England in cricket is very important, and to see them back there is brilliant.
Yeah. It's also been brilliant is this partnership for England. As in comes Haris Rauf to Harry Brook, who moves down, makes a bit of room again as that ball goes down the leg side from Haris Rauf. Rizwan can only get a hand to it and parry it to Hushtil down at fine leg, so they run through for another one. There'll be 2 more to the total. Now these two know each other really well, do Haris Rauf and Harry Brook. They played together for Yorkshire, but they've also played together for the Lahore Qalandars in the Pakistan Super League this season. So they will know a little bit about each other, and I wonder if there was a bit of that from Haris Rauf. He just apologised to the keeper there that time for pushing the ball so far wide. But this is what Harry Brook has been doing, just pushing him off his length by just taking that couple of side steps away from the stumps.
Yeah, he just moved to the leg stump there just outside, and Rauf tried to follow him but followed him about 3 times too much, and brilliant little diving stop to tip it around the corner by Rizwan. Saved a few runs for the team there.
Rauf into Duckett now, who attempts a pull shot, misses, it hits him on his pad. They're going to run through for a leg by. Good pace this from Haris Rauf. I mean, it's trickier to get that pace away. We did see a sort of a pull shot from Harry Brook a bit earlier for 6 over square leg from Haris Rauf, but generally speaking, at that pace and that line, it's harder to get over the line.
Yeah, it seems like a bit more pace in this wicket. We haven't seen as many slow balls, which suggests that they don't think it's as effective. We did see one the previous over, which looked actually reasonable. I wonder if they'll go to that a little bit more as the game progresses, or they'll stick with this pace on plan.
There we go. It's a Yorkshire / Lahore battle now. And Harry Brook on strike. In comes Haris Rauf. This is short, and oh my goodness, that's a trick shot from Harry Brook. As he tried to play a pull shot, manages to get a top edge, and it got stuck in his grill on the inside, and remarkably no injury there is done. Haris Rauf immediately ran over to Harry Brook and gave him a hug and just made sure that he was okay, and they all had a little smile and laugh about it, and Brook is smiling as well, just making sure he's okay. Rizwan's having a laugh. He seems like he's fine. I'm not quite sure how he's managed to get that ball into his grill. Let's have another look at it. It takes a top edge into the gloves, and Brooks' head was miles away as that ball stuck in his grill. He sort of resembled a parrot in a cage with like a peanut hanging from the cage. He's lucky to get away from that, is Harry Brook, and Haris Rauf just retrieving the ball from Harry Brook's grill with a smile on his face. Well, it's all ended up laughs. I mean, just grateful there was no injury done there, Heather.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, getting stuck in the helmet, and Harry Brook actually pulls with quite a sort of bent back leg, which means he's quite low, so obviously a little bit of a brush off the glove and yeah, just cannons in. Luckily he's okay. We're going to have a helmet check. Obviously the protocols when you do get hit in the helmet as a player means that the doctor has to go out there, check what day of the week it is, which as a cricketer is actually a really hard question. Doesn't always mean you're concussed if you answer that wrong, but luckily Harry Brook's okay, and yeah, sign of the fact these two know each other very well. A little bit of a tussle there with Ralph for the ball, but
yeah,
all smiles luckily.
Yeah. So Harry Brook, what he did there was, Haris Rauf was trying to get the ball from the helmet because he, to imply that there would be a catch there, basically, because the ball had gone off the gloves into the helmet and it hadn't yet hit the ground. So if he took it straight out, it would be a catch. So they had a laugh about that. And Harry Brook pulled it out of his helmet himself and placed the ball on the ground just to make sure. Yeah, I think they were already sort of half serious there, Pakistan, about. I mean, that'd be a really ballsy appeal, wouldn't it, to just pull the ball out of the batter's helmet and say, "How's that?"
It would be. I don't know what would happen in that case, actually. Surely it wouldn't be out.
Yeah, you wouldn't appeal. It probably wouldn't be very sporting to
One
appeal
for the
for
MCC.
that. Indeed, here comes Haris Rauf. This is short, and the ball's been hammered over the covers by Harry Brook. That's going to go out towards the boundary. Well, he's recovered from that blow to the helmet very quickly, and he's resumed what he's been doing, which is putting the ball beyond the boundary as often as he can. 4 more to the England score. 176 for 3 from 16.5.
Yeah, again, Harry Brook moving outside of his leg stump, just opening up the offside. It was actually just a length ball, just above off stump, and he's whacked it off the back foot over extra cover. It's so hard to generate the power. You have to really stay tall and still in your stance to do that.
Haris Rauf, and again, this is fast and full and dug out by Brook towards long on, who's very, very deep, so they're going to come back for 2, and they're going to make it with ease. That's a really good call from Ben Duckett, who's running to the danger end there. He's run very, very well between the wickets there, Duckett. We've seen Harry Brook be slightly circumspect at times with his running, but Duckett has been sublime.
Yeah, he has. I think they've run pretty well through this partnership. I think they haven't let the Pakistani bowlers build any pressure, so they're scoring the boundaries, and then off the good balls they're picking up the singles, which as a bowler makes it really frustrating knowing your best balls are still going for runs and makes it really hard to apply any pressure. And generally in T20 cricket, a bit of pressure can create chances, can create wickets, and Pakistan haven't been able to do that. And I don't think they've tried too much. They've just kind of hit a hard length. It worked at the start in the power play. Looks like a bit more pace in this wicket, but it hasn't been great at the death, and England batters have been really good at actually realising it's such a quick outfield. You just play proper shots on this wicket and you get really good value. You don't need to use too much bottom hand. You just got to find the gap slightly and it'll run away with 4. So really good stuff from the England players.
Yeah, it has been indeed. Still 3 overs to come in this innings. England 178 for 3 as Mohammad Hasnain is at the top of his run. His partnership is currently worth 96 runs from 8.3 overs. It's been absolutely sensational batting from England here. Can they finish strong? In comes Hasnain now. This is short. It's been pulled away by Ben Duckett and over the square leg boundary for 6. Good contact there from Duckett. It is the shorter side of the ground, but really, really got a hold of it nicely. England beginning that acceleration at the death. 184 for 3 from 17.1.
So there's some ball boys stationed around the boundary, Atif. Don't know if you've seen them, and one of them has just ran out of the way of that. They're dressed all in white, kind of a little bit like the caddies in the Masters, and he's just seen that ball flying towards him and he's legged it out the way.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, a man after my own heart. He had no interest in getting anywhere near the ball boy, and I don't blame him, because Ben Duckett connected very nicely right out the middle of the bat. Hasnain under pressure. He's been good so far today. Figures of 1 for 29 from his 3.1. And he comes now to Ben Duckett. This is short again. Duckett on the pull again. This time along the ground, out towards the square leg boundary. There's a sliding stop from Shahnawaz Dahani. He gets the throw back in. So 2 more to the England score, I beg your pardon. 186 for 3 Still 16 balls left in this innings. Plenty of time for England to do some serious damage here. Good commitment from the Pakistani fielders though in the deep. As we say, it's a small boundary for the left-hander towards the leg side. Hasnan, yeah, the feeling is going to try and keep the ball wide outside off stump, try and hide it from Ben Duckett. In he comes now, Hasnan. He bowls. This is short again, just outside off stump. It's been pulled down the ground by Duckett to long on. He'll take just a single. It's a better result for Mohammad Hasnan. 187 for 3 England. They keep going at this rate. 214 will be their score. Here's the ball boy on our monitor there, waving at you, Heather, saying sorry I didn't go for it.
Fancies a bowl by the look at it, getting loose.
Yeah, they'll be participating in the Pakistan Junior League, which starts a little bit later. Starts next month, in fact. It's a new initiative from the Pakistan Cricket Board. Junior League. First time there's been a franchise Junior League in international cricket. Something to look forward to. New innovation. Now then, Mohammad Hasnan into Harry Brook. This is full, and it's a big appeal for LBW. The umpire says no. It's looked like it took a bit of pad, but it flew out towards deep third. They take a leg by. Now Hasnan is looking at Barber and asking, should I review it? Should I not? It looks like he's playing charades at the moment. He's looking over at Hasnan, looking over at Rizwan. 5 seconds on the timer, and it's been signalled that it's probably going down leg, so let's not take the review.
Yeah, good decision, I think. I think that was sliding quite far down the leg side.
He was just pleased to beat the bat of Harry Brook. Really, it just took the inside part of his front leg. And as I say, bowled at such pace, shot off towards that deep third boundary, so they do get through for a single. Good pace from Mohammad Hasnan. And we saw a lot of that for the Oval Invincibles from him in the 100th this season.
Pick of the bowlers for me tonight.
Mohammad Hasnan.
Good.
Oh, just aborting his run up there. The crowd were just building as well, so they'll have to start again, but he has been impressive, absolutely.
Particularly with the new ball. Challenged the edge of the bat, bowled with good pace.
And he comes to Ben Duckett now. He bowls, this is short. Duckett cuts that, can't beat the fielder inside the circle. A better throw, and he would have had him run out at the non-striker's end. It's Shan Masood in the covers there. I beg your pardon, that was Iftikhar Ahmed with the throw. He's stationed at extra cover. Went for the non-strikers at all 3 stumps to aim at. Didn't quite get there in the end, but a single to the score for England. 188 for 3 of 17.5 overs. In comes Hasnan. This is short. It's been pulled nicely by Ben Duckett, and that's going to run away to that short boundary again before punished for being short. Into the Ben Duckett arc. Duckett onto it like a flash, just swatting it away like a fly. 4 more to the score. England into the 190s, still with 2 overs to go. 192 for 3. 12 balls to come in this innings.
So Ben Duckett's just moved to the leg side again. I think that's something England have done outstandingly today, just using the crease laterally to try and create the angles they want. And Hasnain followed him. I do wonder, he's gone so far outside the leg stump, could have Hasnain thrown it wide outside of his off stump and he wouldn't have been able to reach it. So not amazing from the Pakistani bowlers. They've taken a little bit of tap tonight, but we only know if it's a good score once both teams have batted, don't we, FT?
Absolutely. And that's the evidence of yesterday's game. Oh, it's hard to see it happening twice in a row, surely not. You never know. That's the beauty of this game. Shahnawaz Dahani in for his final over. He's been very expensive so far today. And he comes to Harry Brook. He bowls. This is a low full toss driven uppishly by Harry Brook in between the gap at extra cover and mid-off, and that's run away for 4. Outstanding placement from Harry Brook. That's just, that was remarkable.
It was really simple stuff. Again, moving outside of his leg stump, just getting a low full toss from Dahani, just missing his Yorker slightly, and he's just used his wrist to open the face, get it wide as that mid-off fielder. And extra cover is the table cricketer again, hands on knees, didn't move an inch.
It's just the awareness of this field from Harry Brook has been so impressive. He's on 63 off 29 deliveries so far. England 196 for 3. 11 balls to come in this innings. Dahani into Brook. This is a wide full toss. It's too wide, I think. I'll be given a wide, I suspect it is. Easy call for the umpire. 197 for 3 now, England, and the young fast bowler for Pakistan under pressure. Shahnawaz Dahani's gone for 48 from his 3.1 overs so far.
Yeah, that was a wide, but I don't think it's a bad plan, going for the wide Yorker. England are moving to the leg side a lot, so if they're throwing it wide, I think that's a good option. Hopefully the wide doesn't put him off, and that's where you need your senior players to say, no, this is the right plan, it was just execution, go to that plan again, it's the right idea.
Harry Brook standing tall, in comes Dahani. This is a back of a leg delivery, it's been pulled up in the air and on the bounce to Mohammad Nawaz out to at mid-wicket. The throw was really good as well. There's a slight polite inquiry ready there to the square leg umpire for the run out. I think Brook was home. A good bit of work from Nawaz just to compose himself there on the boundary, get the throw back in. And yeah, Brook was home there comfortably in the end. But not a bad ploy there from Dahani. Bowled a back of a length ball. It looked like it was going to go the distance for a split second, but not the connection. Not the best connection that we've seen from Harry Brook so far today. He's been outstanding otherwise. 65 from 30. England one shy of 200. And still 10 balls to come in this innings. Dahani into Brook. This ball's been smashed straight down the ground, straight as an arrow, all the way for 6. What a way to bring up 200 for England. Remarkable shot from Harry Brook, who's playing an outstanding innings for England here in Karachi. England's 200 comes up, 205 for 3 of 18.3 overs. What a shot that is. Straight as an arrow. Measure that with a protractor. It's perfect.
Beautiful shot by Harry Brook. Just going deep this time, so using his crease again, but keeping the bowler guessing. Gone deep, missed his Yorker again, Dahani, and gave Brook the leverage to get under it and hit that side screen.
Well, what a knock this has been from Brook. In comes Dahani again. This is full, and it's been dug out. Passed with first slip would have been very deliberate from Harry Brook. Down to the deep third boundary for 4 more. He can't stop hitting boundaries at the moment, can Harry Brook? And Shahnawaz Dahani's figures go from bad to worse. He's gone for 60 so far, and still has 2 more deliveries to bowl. England looking at a monster total here. 209 for 3. And still 8 balls to come in this innings.
It's a cruel game. That's the only Yorker that he's actually hit, and Brooks just managed to get a little bit of bat on it and sneak it past that one fielder inside the ring on the offside.
Well, what does Shahnawaz Dahani do? It's been 4 wide, 2-6-4 so far in this over. Harry Brook seems to have the measure of the young man. In he comes again. This is a high full toss. It's been driven. Can only get it to point. It's fielded by Shan Masood. They'll get through for a single. A bit of relief for Shahnawaz Dahani as Brook ends up at the non-striker's end. 76 of 33 deliveries for the young man from Yorkshire. Absolutely outstanding. And Pakistan had a successful chase yesterday. The highest they've successfully chased in T20s is 208. That was against the West Indies last year in December, but also at Karachi. They'll have to go significantly better than that if they're to take the lead in the series today, as England are already on 210, and they're not done yet. 7 balls to come in this innings. Ben Duckett on strike. Here's Shahnawaz Dahani, back of a length. Duckett pulling that ball straight down the ground towards long on. They'll take the first one quickly. They'll want to... No, they'll settle for 1. So he'll keep the strike. And England on to 211 for 3. I don't think they're going to get to the highest score ever in T20 international cricket, which is 241. That was against New Zealand in 2019 in Napier, which is a smaller ground as well, Napier, than it is than the Karachi National Stadium. So they've done very, very well here, England. This will rank somewhere in their top 10 for sure. They've gone past the 209 they got against Australia in Southampton in 2013. Next on that list is 214, which they got against New Zealand in Auckland. But what this is their highest ever score in Pakistan so far in T20s. Well, he's only got 2 other innings to compete with, I suppose, but here we are. Now then, Haris Rauf has to bowl the final over to Ben Duckett, who goes for a ramp shot. That ball just follows him, and it'll be a dot ball to start the 20th over. Good bit of bowling from Haris Rauf. They just watched him move across his crease and sort of followed him.
Took the pace off as well, something we haven't seen much from Pakistani's bowlers tonight, and I do wonder if they could have utilised their change-ups a little bit more. They've obviously gone the distance on what's a very good track and what's a quick outfield, to be fair, but they haven't used their variations as much as they potentially could have.
211 for 3 with 5 balls to come in this England innings. Duckett on 65 of 39 deliveries. Haris Rauf runs in and bowls. This is another slower ball. It's short, under edge, as Haris Rauf attempts to kick the ball onto the stumps at the striker's end. They do get through for a single, though, which I think right now, I mean, Ben Duckett's played a superb innings for his 66 off 40, but Harry Brook is on another planet right now. 76 off 33. He's the man you want on strike. And he's going to have as many as 4 deliveries to face in this final over. 212 for 3. As captain and bowler for Pakistan, Babar and Haris are chatting about where they want their field. I mean, he's been so impressive today, Harry Brook. I mean, how do you fit him into that England side? I mean, who's sitting it out? Who's looking at that threatened right now? Is it Liam Livingstone? Is it...
guess what? It depends on what condition his ankle is in. Liam Livingstone obviously missing this series in Pakistan through injury, so it depends a little bit on that, but I feel like he's made himself irreplaceable. Obviously bowls off spin and leg spin as well, so very useful for that England middle order.
There we go, Haris Rauf into Harry Brook, who plays a perfect scoop shot over to the fine leg boundary, couple of bounces into the fence, demonstrating game awareness and field awareness of the highest class right now is Harry Brook. He knew exactly where the fine leg fielder was, up inside the circle, and just played tactically a brilliant shot. There was a bit of pace off that delivery from Haris Rauf as well, but Harry Brook finding the boundary yet again. Sensational stuff.
He's just playing with the Pakistani bowlers now, isn't he? Just saw a picture of Babar Azam. It's horrible as a captain when things are going like this. It's hard to know what to do, where to bowl, and what advice to give your bowlers.
He's got 80 of 34 deliveries, Harry Brook. 3 balls to come. Here's Haris Rauf. Down the track comes Brook, driving, not quite timing. That's the ball to Hush Dil Shah, cover, and they run through for a single. So Ben Duckett will be back on strike. England 217 for 3. Having lost the toss, remember, and being put into bat by Babar Azam. He said he'd like to chase something between 150 and 180. Or maybe even 160. He gave us a couple of options. He certainly wasn't thinking of 220 odd. This has been quite spectacular from England so far. Their 6th highest total in T20 internationals. Haris Rauf into Ben Duckett, who flicks that away towards the leg side boundary. I think it'll just be 1. No, they're going to come back for a second, and the throw is wide. Good running from Ben Duckett, so quick between the wickets. And another 2 for England, 219 for 3. 221. If they could go past 221, it'll be in their top 5 T20 totals of all time. But it's been very impressive within the circumstances as well, Heather, especially considering what they had to come back from yesterday.
Yeah, it took something really special to chase down England's 199 yesterday, and it's going to take something even more special. And it's such a quick turnaround as well. After a game like that in the evening, I find it really hard to sleep when you've been involved in obviously a game under lights. So to come round, part yesterday's loss and put the performance is brilliant.
Final ball now has been worked away down to square leg. They're going to come back for a second run. This could be tight again, and again the throw is wide. England make it back for 2, and they've equalled their 5th highest total in T20 internationals. England finish on 221 for 3 from their 20 overs. A quite outstanding performance with the bat from England, particularly the second half of that innings. These two have put on a remarkable partnership, which in the end is worth 137 runs from 11.2 overs. That's 137 from 68 balls to put England in a very, very strong position here. 221 for 3. Harry Brook finishing on 81 off 35 deliveries with 8 4s and 5 6s in that. And Ben Duckett finishing on 69 of 42 deliveries, 8 4s and 1 6 for him as well, both going at a strike rate in excess of 150. Harry Brook going at a strike rate in excess of 200. Quite remarkable. And Phil Salt went for 8 a little bit earlier today to Mohammad Hasnain, caught Mohammad Nawaz. Well, little did we know what was in store for the rest of the day. Will Jacks, 40 off 22 for him. David Milan, 14 off 15. Ben Duckett, 69 off 42 deliveries. And as we say, Harry Brook, 81 off 35. And, well, they finish on 221 for 3 off 20 overs. England do. The Pakistan bowling figures, well, they won't want to look back at that too often, particularly Shahnawaz Dahani, who was the most expensive of the lot. 4 overs for 62 for him. That's more than 15 runs per over. Usman Qadir got 2 wickets, but he also went for 48 from his 4. Mohammad Hasnain, 4 overs, 1 for 36 for him. And Haris Rao, 4 overs, none for 38. Mohammad Nawaz also bowled his full quota of 4 overs, none for 34. Very tough day for the bowlers at the National Stadium in Karachi. England have set Pakistan an enormous total to chase. They chased down 200 yesterday with relative ease, but looking at the win predictor at the moment for this game, England 93% likely to win this game. Pakistan, I think even 7% feels quite generous considering the performance we've seen from the England batters here today. Surely they're not going to do it 2 days in a row. Paul Farbrace back alongside me.
Well, you never know. It's a fantastic pitch, isn't it? And anything that they're capable of doing. I mean, it's an outstanding innings from Duckett and Brook. Fantastic partnership, 139, 72 balls. You're absolutely right.
Right, let's hear from Zainab Abbas, who's currently talking to the debuting Will Jacks.
Because obviously this is your T20 international debut. You've got the cap earlier on as well. So tell us a little about how special a moment it was for you to be wearing this cap.
Yeah, it's a moment obviously I've worked very hard for and I've dreamt of my whole life really, so it was pretty amazing to get that. And what a place to make my debut. The crowd's been amazing. It's been a great atmosphere, all 3 games I've been buzzing with tonight.
What about your innings then? Tell us a little about what it was like to be batting out there in these kind of conditions. Obviously, you've seen how the wicket is played in the last few games. What was it like out there today? Yeah, the pitch is similar to what the guys said it was the last 2 games. Pretty low and skiddy, and but once you get in, it's obviously a very nice wicket to bat on. Pretty happy with how I played. I would have taken that at the beginning of the innings, and an amazing finish by the guys at the end there. It was pretty special. Now you scored a lot of runs at the 100 as well. You got 100 at the Oval. Does that help you coming into a series like this, having form behind you?
Yeah, it just gives you confidence. Obviously coming into international cricket, it's kind of an unknown for myself. I don't know what to expect or how I'm going to hold up, so it's good to have that confidence going into it, and tonight's obviously give myself a little bit more, and I kind of know hopefully going into the next game I can do it again.
This is a fabulous target though, 222. You scored over 200 runs, but that was chased down by Pakistan. What do you guys plan on doing differently today?
Well, I guess the way Babar and Rizwan played last night, no scores out of reach. We've got 20 more than we did last night. Hopefully we can defend that. I think obviously we've got to get one of them out. If we don't get them out, they'll just do what they did last night, so it might be a good chase.
Well, thank you so much for all your thoughts and all the best for this one.
Thank you.
Will Jacks there talking to Zainab Abbas on debut today. Very impressive, though it's very much Harry Brook and Ben Duckett who stole the show. So England, 222 runs is what they've set Pakistan to try and take the lead in this T20 international series. The third of 7, of course, currently tied at 1 apiece. And as we know, this is England's first tour to Pakistan since 2005, and the trip has huge significance. Lee James has been talking to the chief executive of Pakistan Cricket Board, Ramiz Raja.
There will be a lot of love and a lot of respect for England because not only will we see great cricketing contests, but there's this cultural engagement also. And so the world will be watching, and we are here, inshallah, to deliver a seamless series.
Yeah, and a whole generation of cricket fans in Pakistan will have only seen some of these England players on television. How much interest is there then in these initial T20 internationals and the Test series to come?
Yeah, I mean, some of the names are familiar because the cricketers did play at various PSL editions. But yes, the big guns have been missing, so this will be a very, very good experience for the fans.
And England were due to play the T20 matches in Pakistan last year. They were cancelled. The ECB citing the mental, physical well-being of its players, increased concerns about travelling. Did that sour relations between the boards? Have you had to reassure them this time, Ramiz?
No, actually, I didn't like the way we were treated, during those very tough 10 days of negotiations, where the explanation given, the exact word was the players are spooked after New Zealand withdrawal. So it didn't make any cricketing sense, but then ECB realized that, things need to mend. And so thankfully, they came and smoothed over things. So that little bit of hitch that was there has been cleared. That's taken care of.
So they're reassured that they're on Pakistani soil again. And of course, financially, how important is it? It has cost a lot of money, hasn't it, Pakistan's inability to host matches?
Yeah, I mean, and hosting matches is not easy also, because the presidential security is triggered, which means massive costs, extra layer of security and all that. And that's been the precedent set since last 4 or 5 years, ever since international teams have started to come to Pakistan. And we don't want to risk anything. We don't want to take anything for granted. So it would mean spending more, but for the fans, it's worth it. Absolutely worth every penny of it.
And with the number of nations that have now toured Pakistan, is the clear message now then that Pakistan is safe now for teams to come and play?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's just the perception, and it's getting cleared. And Australia was a big plus for us, and later after England, New Zealand is supposed to come. This is by the way our best season in the last 20 odd years, and so I think there's a lot of comfort now when a cricket team now travels to Pakistan.
That's Ramiz Raja there, sharing his thoughts, I should say, on the significance of this tour from England. And it has been hugely significant, of course. Huge crowds turning out to the National Stadium in Karachi to welcome this England side. We've seen a lot of goodwill for them, a lot of interest in this series as well. A 7-match T20 international series. Of course, it was originally scheduled to take place last year. It was deferred to this year owing to a last-minute security concern. There was great anger in Pakistan about the cancellation of that and the New Zealand series at the time. But it seems for now, Paul Fabris alongside me, that all is forgiven and everybody is very grateful for what's unfolding before us.
Well, it is great to be talking about international cricket being played in Pakistan, isn't it? And, regardless of, where the Pakistan Cricket Board and the ECB got to in their discussions, the great thing is that we're watching England play Test match, one-day international cricket, T20 cricket, Test match cricket, all in Pakistan. And it's fantastic to see. And it's, more importantly, it's brilliant to be able to talk about young players, Will Jacks and Harry Brook, playing fantastically well for England. Great pitches to bat on, absolutely brilliant pitches to bat on in Pakistan. And I just thought today we've learnt so much about two young men who we've talked a lot about. There's a lot of chat about them in county cricket. There's a lot of chat about, have they got the temperament, have they got the I guess the mindset and the intelligence to play international cricket, and we've seen two fantastic innings today, and that for me is the most exciting thing. We're talking about international cricket being back in Pakistan, and what a great place to go and play the game.
It really is. It's a brilliant place to play the game, and certainly to watch the game as well. But I mean, everybody will have enjoyed that knock from Harry Brook today. Of course, there were good knocks from Ben Duckett, 69 off 42 for him. Will Jacks making a terrific debut, 40 off 22. But Harry Brook's 81 off 35. I mean, he loves playing out in Pakistan. We've mentioned a few times he's got 100 in PSL last year as well for the eventual champions, the Lahore Qalandars. This season, I beg your pardon. It took place a little bit earlier this year. I mean, he looked almost invincible towards the end of that innings. Like he was, Heather said quite aptly, I think he was just toying with the bowlers at one stage.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the longer the innings went. I mean, he got the pace of the wicket well. He played well. It was interesting there listening to Will Jacks talking about, the pitch played the same as the other two nights. It's going to, I know there's a lot, Moeen Ali said, difficult to read the pitches. These pitches are very easy and very, very uncomplicated pitches. The ball skids And the key here is you've got to be skillful and use the crease. You've got to change your pace. You've got to bowl your cutters if you possibly can. Your slow balls out the back of your hand, because if you bowl the same ball in the same place twice on these surfaces, you will disappear. And that's exactly what Harry Brook did. He was very skillful. He knows his game really well. Very powerful, but he also played some fantastic timed cricket shots as well. Absolutely brilliant innings from him. But this is a fantastic pitch to play on. And if England don't take early wickets, Pakistan will fancy chasing this down. I know it's a big total, but they will fancy chasing this down. But I think that the key to this is if England can take early wickets and expose Pakistan's middle order, I think their middle order is a fraction brittle, and I don't think there's a great deal of confidence in that middle order. So early wickets will be the key for me here.
Yeah, well, just to give hope to any Pakistani fans out there, this is obviously the highest international T20 total that's been scored at the National Stadium, Karachi. But in the PSL, there have been higher scores than this. 222 by Multan and Islamabad United scoring 229 and 238 as action begins in the second innings. Dawson's first ball defended by Rizwan on the front foot for no run. 238 was scored in 2019 by the Islamabad United side at the National Stadium, Karachi, in a winning effort in the PSL. So some hope for Pakistan. Greater than the 6.4% that they were given on the win predictor. Liam Dawson in once again to Rizwan, who pushes this ball just wide of Dawson to mid-on. Dawson nearly got a full grasp to that. They hesitated for a moment before going through and completing the single. 1 for no loss after 2 balls, Pakistan. Yesterday we saw something special from these two. You get the feeling, Paul, they'd have to do something even beyond that to win today.
Yeah, they're going to have to play brilliantly, but they're capable. They're definitely capable.
Well,
I'm not sure about the 6.4%, did you say?
Yeah, it was what the win probability was of Pakistan at the...
Interesting that there's a 0.4 in there, isn't there?
Well, to be fair, there was several decimal points in the stat that I read. I was just rounding up.
Okay. I thought we were back to Simon's story earlier about Javed Miandad deliberately inside edging onto his pad to make fielders come in close so he could hit it past them. I love that sort of stuff. I mean, that's one of the great things, isn't it, about the game of cricket? But 6.4% chance of winning is an interesting stat, even to start with.
Yeah. Well, some of that percentage is certainly due to the man on screen now. Babar Azam on strike, I should say. Dawson into Babar, who turns this wide of the fielder at square leg. It's Moeen Ali who fields. And the Pakistan captain off the mark. Pakistan 2 for no loss after 3 balls. Remember, the target is 222. If Pakistan were to win here, they'd have to better their biggest ever chase in T20 cricket by 13 runs. This is short from Dawson, pulled away by Mohammad Rizwan, out towards the square leg boundary for 4. A little bit too short. Rizwan pounced on that length very quickly. 6 for no loss after 4 balls.
Excellent shot. He just got inside the line of that and helped it through deep square leg. Excellent batting from Rizwan. Again, the two of them last night, they played on the pitch next door. They played brilliantly. They got 200 themselves. They will be very confident going into this run chase.
Yeah, they've certainly got time out in the middle, haven't they? Dawson in again, full, driven nicely by Rizwan, but picks out the short extra cover fielder, David Malan. Good stop from him, no run there. Dawson's bowled a good first over here, kept things very tight. Other than that short ball, he's only gone for 6 from the first 5 balls. Rizwan pounding the crease with his bat as he just plays that ball with soft hands, just wide of Reece Topley at point for a single. It's 1 over complete in this Pakistan innings, 7 for no loss after 1. And England, well, they'll feel very confident here, I get the feeling. I'm pretty confident of closing this game out.
Definitely. I remember being with the England side when we chased down about 220 against South Africa in 2-3-4 in Mumbai in the World Cup. And the chat at the halfway break, Trevor Bayliss said to the top order, we don't need to go daft, we can just be comfortable here, knock it around, keep wickets in hand for the last 10 and we can chase anything. And I think we were about 75 off 4 overs. So the 2 opening batsmen definitely listened to him on that occasion. But the key here is that you can't afford to get behind the rate. At the same time, you can't afford to lose early wickets. And that's the challenge for these two. But very experienced opening pair, and as stats say, the best pair in the world at the moment.
Now then, Reece Topley into Mohammad Rizwan. His first ball's just been pushed to point. Fielded by Alex Hills, and there is no run. They've been very good with their length straight away, England. Just one blemish in there so far, the short ball from Dawson, but other than that, they've hit their mark straight away so far, these bowlers.
Good to see Topley back in the side. I think Topley is one of the most intelligent white ball bowlers around. He's very skillful, very intelligent, and he hits a good length consistently, good changes of pace, and very skillful.
Here's Topley again, worked away by Rizwan, but can't beat Harry Brook at mid-wicket, and there is no run. And just a reminder, we're going to have more live cricket tomorrow on 5 Sports Extra when England's women play India at Lord's, and coverage for that will begin from 10:45 in the morning, so tune in. Should be a good game, and there's a dead rubber, of course, with the Indian women winning the first 2 games, but England will be keen to finish that series with a bang. So coverage of that on 5 Sports Extra at 10:45 tomorrow. Here's Reece Topley into Rizwan again. That ball's guided just wide of the short third fielder. They do run through for a single. And the score moves on to 8 for no loss from 1.3 overs. One thing you have to note about these 2 batters so far, I mean, Barbara's only faced the 1 ball so far, but they don't look rushed or under pressure considering the total that they're chasing.
No, and that's what you're looking for. You know, you're looking for 2 experienced players, 2 excellent players. They're both in great form. We saw that yesterday. That they shouldn't be rushed. They shouldn't feel panicked. Their job is to set a good base and a good platform.
In comes Topley now to Babar Azam, who drives that ball nicely out towards deep extra cover. Alex Hills is patrolling out there, and they'll take 2. 10 for no loss off 1.4. Pakistan have a big task. They haven't lost a wicket to England in 1.5 games so far, so there's a few...
That's definitely an optimistic view, that, isn't it? I love that about you. I love you
twisting
optimism.
my stat there.
Yeah, I love that. It's very optimistic.
Hey, 6.4%. Reece Topley into Babar Azam, leading edge up in the air, and it's been put down. Well, what a chance that was for England to take an early wicket. Babar Azam looking to play the ball through the onside, gets a leading edge. As that ball floated up in the air, a fielder jumped for it, just couldn't hold on. It's David Malan, extra cover, short extra cover.
I think that the fact that it was a leading edge, and he probably felt it was going quicker than it was, and he's just mistimed his jump almost, and he was almost on the way down as the ball hit the top of his fingers, but a catch he should take, really.
Topley into Rizwan, a slower ball, he's gone for the pull shot, gets a bit of pad on it. There's a big appeal from Topley. It goes down to short third, and they take a single. Take a leg by. The DRS timer counts down. Moeen Ali's not interested. So that's the end of the second over. An excellent one from Reece Topley. Just the 4 runs from it off the bat. And Pakistan 12 for no loss off 2. They're going at a runner ball, and that's something that's going to need to be bettered significantly if they're to get close in this chase. But in their lineup, they do have 2 batters who've held that world #1 ranking. One of them holds it right now in Mohammad Rizwan.
Yeah, an excellent over from Reece Topley. As I said, as he started that over, very intelligent bowler, very thoughtful, very skillful. And the one great thing there was that he got a little bit of shape back into the right-hander, but at no stage did he free their hands to allow them to hit the ball through the offside or even pick up through the leg side. Bowled well to his field. It's a great start from him. This is an excellent sight for English cricket to see Mark Wood back at the top of his mark, ball in hand, in an international. I really hope he goes well tonight.
Yeah, Mark Wood into Rizwan, hits him on the pad as it goes on a leg stump line towards the square leg area, and they'll run through for a leg by. There's a bit of resignation about Rizwan there. He felt like he missed out. Very good to see Mark Wood back out there. He'd
thanks, David. I've got
joined us on commentary a few times.
With me, of course.
during the season. Mark Wood, great fun to have him on commentary over at Durham, the hottest day of the year. And, we had Mark Wood alongside us, very energetic in the commentary box.
Yeah, short, sharp bursts with Woody. That's what you need. You don't want to be with him for too long. He wears you out. But short and sharp, great man, great character, and a brilliant bloke to have in your team.
Mark Wood in, and that's been driven uppishly and wide of the fielder at mid-off. It's going to kick off on this surface and run away to the long-off boundary for 4. Babar Azam finding his timing. And Pakistan on to 17 for no loss. I don't know if you can just hear the sound of the PCB chairman, Ramiz Raja, being interviewed by Zainab Abbas in the background. In fact, we're just going to let you listen to a few of his comments.
It has ticked all the boxes.
Martin, you were here 12 months ago.
It's ticked all the boxes. There we go. That's what we need to hear from the PCB chair. 17 for no loss Pakistan after 2.2 overs with a target of 222 in front of them. Babar on strike. This is short from Wood. A quick delivery with a lot of threat about it. Babar Azam just trying to get out of the way of it, really, as it went through to the keeper. I mean, there was some fire behind that one.
Magnificent. That is the absolute perfect response. As a fast bowler getting hit back over your head, 1 bounce, 2 bounce for 4. Woody's just saying there to Babar Azam, listen, I've got a bit of pace here. Don't take liberties with me, be looking to launch me back over my head. And he's put him very much on the back foot. And you could tell from Phil Salt's face as he took that. That was quick. That hit his gloves exceptionally hard.
Yeah. There's Mark Wood in once again. This is short, top edge. Is it going to go to the hands of deep third? It is. He's taken the catch. Reece Topley. And Babar Azam has to go. It was a quick delivery from Wood. Babar Azam threw his hands at the ball, gets a top edge, and it flew to Reece Topley at deep third. A terrific catch right on the edge of the boundary. And Pakistan's captain has to go. England have taken a wicket, a huge wicket. They're in a huddle straight away. High fives all round. Pakistan 17 for 1 of 2.4 overs, chasing a target of 222.
Well, it was a good job that Reece Topley was there to take that catch, because if he hadn't, it would have hit Ramiz Raja on the back of the head from where he was doing his pitch side interview. So not only has he taken a wicket, but it was hitting Ramiz Raja straight on the side of the head. So it was. I'm not sure that the production team putting their hand up would have actually made any difference whatsoever. I don't think it would have stopped them hitting anyone in that little group. It just shows the pace. Mark Wood, he really is high quality, and he's taken a wicket. And this is what I said at the start. England will be talking about, when Pakistan are chasing such a high total, they've got to take risks, they've got to play big shots early on, more than perhaps these two like to play. They're both very circumspect normally, they're very calm normally. You mentioned that in the over before. But they've got to take a few more risks when you're chasing 220, take early wickets, and this is where I think England will really now expose Pakistan's middle order, because, as we've said, it's a bit untested, it's a bit untried, and there'll be a lot of learning now from the Pakistan dressing room, and Sakalain will be looking at these batters and thinking, are these the guys we take to a World Cup?
Yeah, well, there's some questions for Pakistan. We said they didn't learn anything from yesterday's game. Well, here's a chance to learn something, because you get to see a batter other than Rizwan and Babar, who's going to come out to the middle. Ramiz Raja is still on the boundary being interviewed at the moment, and you rightly pointed out it's been a long old time since he was in the Pakistan national team. I think he retired in the mid-90s. As Mark Wood is into Haider Ali, the new Pakistani batter, who plays this first ball to point for no run. And Ramiz Raja was a bit slow to move to that. I think he had mixed feelings about that catch. He's pleased that Topley protected him from getting hit by the ball. But on the other hand, he'll be disappointed to see the captain of his team dismissed.
Yeah, Reece Topley wasn't dropping that. He's a good catch. He's got good hands. And perfectly placed straight down his throat. A nice wicket for England to get and put the middle order under real pressure here.
Mark Wood steaming in towards Haider Ali. He bowls a good length ball. Has been pushed by Haider Ali to mid-off. They set off very quickly for the single. There is a shot at the non-striker's end. It doesn't connect. It's well backed up in the leg side. So Haider is off the mark. He's on 1 off 2. Pakistan 18 for 1 of 3 overs, going at exactly a run a ball at the moment. Really what you want when you're chasing a total that high. But Haider Ali will have good memories of playing against England. He made his debut in T20 international cricket against England at Old Trafford a couple of years ago. Got a 50 in his first game in international colours for Pakistan, but has struggled since then. Well, this is what you want as a batter. Paul, we talk about this. You want your best batters, or as a batter, you want to spend as much time out in the middle as possible. He's number 3 and he's in there in the third over. This is the platform he's asked for.
Absolutely. Well, this is his opportunity to take, isn't it? But I was thinking more then, whilst you were chatting about, that there'll be a lot of people in the England setup that will have spent a lot of time with Mark Wood over the last few months to get him right. People at Durham on the medical side, coaches to get him back playing, and it was great to see him running and take a wicket in his first over back.
Topley in, this is full. Big swing from Heather, doesn't quite time it. Just wide of Moeen Ali at mid-off, and they run through for a single. That intent is very clear from Heather. As Pakistan moved to 19 for 1. I wonder what role Mohammad Rizwan's going to play today, because usually he's the slight aggressor in the partnership between him and Babar. Babar tends to play himself into the game a little bit and then accelerate towards the back end of his innings. I wonder if Rizwan's going to semi-drop anchor as much as you can in this format. It's a slower ball from Topley. He's well watched by Rizwan, who just guides that ball with soft hands to backward point for a single.
The one thing he will be looking to do, Rizwan, he will be allowing Haider Ali to get in. That's the first thing. What you never want, and certainly in a run chase, you have 2 new batters at the crease. So Rizwan's first job is to make sure that Haider Ali gets to face 4 or 5 balls to get the pace of the wicket and to get himself in. And once he's in, then one of them has got to take on that slightly more aggressive role. And if they're going to chase down, one of these two's got to get a big score.
Topley into Heather Ali. This is short. It's been pulled but not timed, and there's no one there at square leg up inside the circle. Ben Duckett far deeper on the boundary, so Heather survives another mistimed pull shot. Just a single there.
The one obvious thing about batting on these pitches in Pakistan is that the ball definitely skids on, and with the hot days and humidity, you're going to get some dew, you're going to get a little bit of juice on top of the surface, and the pitch will naturally skid. We've seen in all 3 of the games so far, and we'll see it in the test matches as well. If you play straight in Pakistan, you look to hit up and down the ground.
It's Topley in again. This is short. It's been pulled, but again can't place it. Rizwan gets the ball to Moeen Ali on the bounce. Dot ball from Topley.
If you play nice and straight and you hit back through the ball, it's a fantastic place to bat. If you start before you've got in, if you look to play 2 square of the wicket and you look to cut and you look to pull early in your innings without getting the pace, it's amazing how many balls hit the top of the bat. And we've seen a lot of batsmen try and play pull shots that have hit the stickers. They've hit right up near the top of the bat, and the ball just skids on that little bit more, and you've got to play as straight as you can, and that's where if England are savvy here, they'll bowl a lot of back of a length balls.
Topley in, down the track comes Rizwan, big swing, no ding, no connection whatsoever. Another slower ball through to the keeper, no run. Good variation from Topley. That is the length,
isn't it? Yeah. That is the length you've got to bowl. You've got to be going over the top of the bails as often as you can. If you go full, it's very easy to score runs on this surface. If you go into the pitch and you go bail height and above, it's a much, much harder job to hit square the wicket when you first go in. That's the key.
Pakistan need 201 from 97 balls. They have 9 wickets in hand. It's been all England so far. We've scored the highest ever international total at the National Stadium, Karachi today, 221. Topley into Rizwan, and he's bowled him! It was a slower ball. Rizwan swung, and he knew he was beaten the minute the ball passed his bat. He throws his bat up in frustration. Big celebration from Reece Topley, back in the side today, and he's having a brilliant game so far. 2 overs, 1 for 7 for him, and the prize wicket of the world number 1 batter in Mohammad Rizwan. Pakistan 21 for 2 after 4 overs.
The 6.4%, I think, has just gone to 0.4%. I'm not sure I'm even giving you the 6 now. That is exceptional bowling from Reece Topley. And the point I keep making about him is he's so intelligent, he's so smart when he bowls, and he's bowled heavy length, taken the arms out, made it hard to hit him down the ground, and then fantastic change of pace, slower ball. Rizwan was through the shot. He probably had 3 shots at that, and it still hadn't got to him. And then when he missed it, as you said, he knew it was just hitting the stumps. He's hit the top of the leg stump. Outstanding bowling from Reece Topley. Really smart, really intelligent bowling. And you'd have to say that England will now be very happy that they've got 220. They've taken both the top opening batsman out of the game, and it really does expose this middle order. And there's still a lot of quality to come. There's a lot of quality to come in this side. Shan Masood, outstanding player, absolutely outstanding cricketer. You know, we've seen a lot of him in England. He's played brilliantly, but he's under huge pressure to come in and score, you know, at a very high rate very quickly without getting the pace of the wicket.
In just his second T20 international innings. Here's Mark Wood now into Heather Ali, who works that ball up in the air, and the catch is taken. Terrific catch from Adil Rashid, diving on one of the practice pitches in the leg side. Heather looking to muscle that ball over the square leg boundary. Just gets a leading edge, it hangs in the air, and Adil Rashid, with an athletic dive, takes the catch, and he's silenced the crowd at the National Stadium, Karachi. Mark Wood has 2 wickets now, 2 for 5 for him from his 1.1 overs. Pakistan in all manner of trouble now, 21 for 3 of 4.1 overs.
That's what genuine pace does for your side. You know, and this is the point that, you know, Matthew Mott, in the early games that he's been the coach, he hasn't had this high level of pace that you can work with, whether it's a Wood, whether it's you know, Ollie Stone, whoever it might be, Jofra Archer. You need that genuine point of difference. And if England are going to win this World Cup that's coming up next month, they're going to need these bowlers to be fit and to be strong, because they are game changers. This little spell here from Wood has completely changed the game. He's absolutely changed the game. He's taken 2 of the top 3. Genuine pace has got the 2 wickets. First one, top edge flew to third man. That is done him completely for pace. And as I was just saying, you go hard into the pitch. The amount of batters we've seen so far, it's hit the splice, it's hit the stickers, it's lobbed up, square leg, Rash. Great little catch from Rash, diving to his right. Excellent catch, never in doubt. He is the most improved fielder in the England team in the last couple of years, Adil Rashid, but he wasn't dropping that. And it's a brilliant start for the England bowling attack. Your 0.4%.
Where are you putting it now?
Well, I think there's a few zeros, so it's 0.000 now, isn't it? 4%.
Iftikhar Ahmed is the new batter as Mark Wood steams in. Another quick ball, good length. Iftikhar just pushes to Harry Brook at backward point. Mark Wood, best-selling author Mark Wood, is
I can't believe he's written a book.
Well, he did have a little bit of help.
I hope he has. I hope he has. There's 1 or 2 books being released recently from England cricketers that I certainly hope they've had some help and support writing their books.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you mentioned then about how the crowd had gone silent. Karachi, one of my greatest experiences. I'll come back to you after this ball from Woody.
Yes, he's steaming in again, Mark Wood. In he comes, as that ball's been pulled, but straight to Adil Rashid at square leg. He just kind of watchfully pulled that. He didn't want to move too much, didn't take his eyes off that at all, did Iftikhar. It's been a serious performance, this, from England so far. Reece Topley with ball and with catching has made an impact, and Mark Wood with his searing pace, one of his deliveries clocking in at 156 kilometres per hour.
Shahid Afridi in an Asia Cup game, batting here in Karachi, and as he walked in, the game was on a knife edge, and the crowd, the noise was absolutely exceptional.
As Mark Wood into Iftikhar again, back of a length, driven, and an excellent half stop from Harry Brook at backward point. They run through for a single.
And Pakistan were needing about 120 to win, 20 odd overs to go, probably 3-4 down, and it was going to be a really close game. Sri Lanka Pakistan Asia Cup match. The ground absolutely full, and as Afridi walked in, all you could hear was boom boom, just ringing around the ground. It was unbelievable. First ball, he hit it to long off. Jihan Mubarak underneath the catch, caught the catch, out first ball, and within minutes 80% of the crowd had gone home. It was the most extraordinary sight I've ever seen in a sporting venue. It was absolutely incredible. But the passion, and you know, you could hear it early on with a few boundaries, but you know, the crowd has gone very quiet now, hasn't it? 3 wickets early on, and the crowd has definitely changed.
And Mark Wood in again, another quick ball to Shan Masood. They just waited on it and worked it round the corner to fine leg for a single. Oh, there's so many stats going in England's favour here, it almost seems unfair, but I'll give you another one. Teams that take 3 wickets in power plays tend to win their matches, even more so when they've scored 221 in the first innings.
Well, that's a lot more believable than the Jarvis Dad story we had a little bit earlier.
Well,
that is for certain.
I've got to back Simon here because I've read that story numerous times.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. It is a brilliant story. But yeah, I mean, you take 3 wickets in the power play. You make it hard for the opposition.
In comes Mark Wood. There's a lot of pace on this one as well. Iftikhar pulling that. Finds a deep backward square leg. It's Sam Curran on the ball, and it'll just be a single. And these first 5 overs have been all England. Pakistan 24 for 3. We said that middle order was untested and they hadn't learned a lot from the previous game. Well, at the very least, they're going to learn something about their middle order today. With the top 3 all back in the heart. Babar gone, Rizwan gone, Heather gone, and Shan and Iftikhar out in the middle. Your thoughts on this searing display of fast bowling that we've seen from England so far? And then you're going to be rejoined by Simon Mann.
Well, when you, as you say, when you're a little bit untested, you're a little bit unsure, Shan Masood playing in only his second game, and you're already, with 15 overs to go, needing a run rate of 13 runs an over, Simon, it makes it quite a tough battle for these 2 batters that are coming in. They're trying to get the pace of the pitch. You got Mark Wood absolutely charging in, bowling speed of light. It's not an easy run chase then, is it?
No, it's tough now for Pakistan. If they win from here, we'll see something special in the next 15 overs. Here's Curran bowling. Iftikhar drives towards mid-off. It's picked up by Topley. And there's no run. Iftikhar stays on 2, 24 for 3. And the start of the 6th, though. This is what England needed to do yesterday. Get rid of the top 2. They're just so dangerous, as they showed yesterday, but get them today and it's a very different story. It's almost tempting to say that it was 2 a ball already. Here's Curran bowling to Iftikhar, who pulls into the leg side. That might help their cause. That's gone for 4. Out towards wide long on. Of course, we're still in the power play, so the field is up, only 2 fielders back, so lots of gaps if you can get it past the inner ring, and they have to make something of this over. They possibly can. Iftikhar goes to 6 and Pakistan to 28 for 3.
It's interesting. I was reading the other day that the England team was saying that they reckon they've already got 10 of their starting 11 worked out for the start of the World Cup, their best team. You'd have to think that Topley and Wood would be in that starting 10, wouldn't you? 2 outstanding cricketers. They've made such a difference already I know it's only 1 game, but they've made such a difference already to this game.
Wood has been magnificent, isn't it? It's first game for England for months, since early March. He's roared in. Curran bowls short, and it's high in the air. This is going to be a 4th wicket. Topley's underneath it. Iftikhar's gone. And I wonder whether Pakistan have gone. 28 for 4, chasing 222. Dug in by Curran. Iftikhar swatted at it, top edge, and a straightforward catch for Reece Topley at mid-off. And Curran's joined in now, so a wicket for Topley, 2 for Wood and 1 for Curran. And Pakistan going absolutely nowhere here in pursuit of 222.
It's very tough, isn't it? When you're chasing a big score, you've got no option but to play shots. You've got no option but to, look to hit boundaries and give your team the best chance. But pretty much all of these wickets have fallen to really intelligent bowling. Sam Curran's first ball was a back of the hand slow ball. He got hit through mid-wicket. The second one, he's banged it into the surface. He's got that extra little bit of bounce. Again, we've seen so many balls hit the stickers of the bat in this game, and if you bowl a good length, if you bowl full of a good length, the ball skids on. You bowl that heavy length into the surface, and if you bowl short, you really got to get the ball up around shoulder head height, and if you can do that, it's not been easy for anybody coming in to time the ball today, and it's led to 3 of the 4 wickets.
England making 221 for 3. If you just switched on, superb innings from Harry Brook, 81 not out from 35 balls, and Ben Duckett 69 not out from 42. They put on 139, and Pakistan slumping in reply. Kushdil Shah is in at number 6 for them, and I mean, you wonder whether it's game over already, really, from this situation. There's 6 wickets left, close on 200 still required, and we're already into the 6th over, and everything has gone England's way today. Well, everything's gone England's way since the midway point of their innings. And here is Curran bowling. It's defended by Kushtil rather, into the offside, and there is no run. So we've got two left-handers out there at the moment, Shan Masood and Kushtil Shah. So I wonder whether, rather than Rashid first over after the power play, I wonder whether Moeen might bowl with two left-handers out there. He didn't get a chance to bowl any left-handers yesterday. It was right-handers all the way. Here is Curran bowling, and defended by Kushtil into the offside. The crowd starting to get a bit restless. It's not easy for Kushtil to just come in. What is he supposed to do? Spank it out of the park first and second ball.
You've got to get the pace of the wicket before you can do anything, and it is tough. It's interesting you talk about who you would bring on. I mean, I would be severely tempted to go to Topley or Wood and try and take another wicket and absolutely close this game down.
Yeah, well, that is another way of going, of course. Yeah, definitely. Here is Curran bowling. Kushtil nudges that into the leg side. They go for a quick single. They get it as well. The throw comes. It's not taken cleanly by Salt rushing up to the stumps. Kushtil is off the mark, so he's one. Shan Masood is one. And we've had the power play now, and I think it's fair to say that has been conclusively won by England. Paul Farbrace is taking a break. Heather Knight's coming in. 29 for 4 after 6 overs. Heather's arrival at the microphone reminds me to remind you that tomorrow England play India in the Women's One Day International at Lord's, and we are on air at 10:45 for that one on 5 Sports Extra. And Heather was telling me they've sold around 17,000 tickets for that match, which is not bad at all for the 24th of September. And quite a cool day expected in London tomorrow as well. Not quite the warmth that we've had of late. It's been quite warm in London this week, but anyway, not too bad. At least it's going to be dry, which is as much as we can ask for, I think, at this stage of the season.
Definitely, in first time England women will have played there since the 2017 World Cup final.
Yeah, so a big day tomorrow, even though they've lost the series. Well, it is going to be Rashid to bowl the 7th over, and he bowls to Kushtil, and Kushtil plays it back down the pitch. Now, you think about leg break bowler, prefer to bowl at right-handers, of course, because Rashid's got the googly. He's got a very good googly. They don't all pick, and of course it's an option as well with two left-handers out there. So that's why Moeen Ali's gone for that. Rashid's first over, bowls to Kushtil with a slip in, and forward goes Kushtil, groping for that, gets a single into the offside. England with the slip, because Rashid can bowl the googly. Got a good googly. That's the one that turns away from the left-hander, turns into the right-hander. 30 for 4, 7th over, Shan Masood. And his second T20 international innings. The slip's gone now for Masood. Rashid bowls, and that's driven back to Rashid, who stops it. Not much power in that shot. And these two looking to regroup, but the balls are ticking on here. It's a really difficult situation for Pakistan. 30 for 4, they need 222 to win. They need a Ritchie to win. And here is Rashid bowling to Masood, who went leg side there, and then in the end just checked his shot, and I'm not sure he knew which way that was spinning. He sort of groped forward at it, back to the bowler. No run.
I think the thing with the fact that England have taken these early power play wickets means that Pakistan have to attack Rashid, and that really brings him in as a wicket taker.
Rashid bowls, that's very full. It's driven by Masood down the ground towards long off. That's Harry Brook territory. Turns it on the bounce to Rashid at the non-striker's end, and they get a single. But Rashid's coming to the end of his first over, and he's only conceded 2 singles so far. 31 for 4. I wonder if the big shot is going to come. Well, you're right, it's going to have to come against Rashid and against England's other spinners. Here is Rashid, reverse sweep, decent contacts, going out towards the boundary. Might well go for 4. It does. Well, that was really good from the bat of Kushtil there, going for the reverse sweep. Bit of ducket in that stroke, and it's gone away for 4. 35 for 4 after 7 overs. Good from Kushtil Shah, the left-hander, turning himself around and making good contact, or decent enough contact. There's a bit of top edge in it, but he hit it well.
Yeah, learning from Duckett's innings there. He swept his way to a very good innings and scored the majority of his runs through those reverse sweeps and more orthodox sweeps. So obviously a very effective shot for Ben Duckett, and looks like a very effective shot on this wicket as well, especially as Adil Rashid, his Google is so hard to pick. The fact that his wrist is so fast makes it really hard to pick up. So often if you're not picking the spin as a batter, go to the sweep shot.
Yeah. Right, it's going to be Moeen Ali to bowl. And this feels like good sense from the skipper. A bit early on tonight, and the first ball is powered down the ground out towards to Jacks rather on the long on boundary. It's a single. 36 for 4. Start of the 8th over. So Moeen delayed himself last night. Came on, I think, the 13th over. Went for 21. Felt like a crucial over. He's in for the 8th over tonight with the two left-handers out there. There's a big shout for LBW. There must have been an inside edge on that because it looked quite close. Unless it might have been slipping down. It just seemed to skid on there to the left-hander. He's not going to review it. He pulled out of the appeal. From the view I got, it didn't look a bad shout, but perhaps there was an inside edge. Moeen bowls to Kushtil, very full, dug out, down the ground by Kushtil Shah for a single. Brook is there. One more to the total, 37 for 4. They've just switched on. Pakistan need 222 to win. I mean, it looks impossible, I would say, from here, wouldn't you? Can't.
Very slim chance.
Surely can't chase.
There's always hope, Simon.
Is there? You can't chase 222 from 37 for 4 in the 8th. Moeen bowls. Shan Masood drives that out towards long off. No, well, there are enough balls available to get the runs, but it feels, even at this stage, a hopeless task. Occasionally we've seen matches in the IPL Big Bash where you think the game's hopeless for the chasing side or even the defending side, and they pull one out. This would be something, it really would. Moeen bowls to Kushtil down the pitch, hitting this out towards the deep extra cover boundary. That'll do. That's gone away for 6. It is a small ground, quick outfield. The crowd like that, raising their 6 placards. Something to cheer about at last. 44 for 4, coming to the end of the 8th over, dancing down the pitch and hitting it over extra cover.
It was nowhere near that as well. He's really had to reach for it, and often as a batter, when you're not that close to the ball, you actually end up hitting it harder.
Comes down the pitch again. Kushtil turns it into the onside. They're going to look for 2 here just outside the circle, and they're going to come back as well. That's a bit more like it for Pakistan in Moeen Ali's first over. It's gone for 11, but that is not the required rate. The required rate is 14.67 from the last 12 overs, which is a lot of asking rate. That at this stage, you might better get, that sort of run rate off the last 4, but 14, I don't know, tough, especially with 6 wickets available.
Very tough, but it is a very fast outfield, as we've talked about. I think the worst thing these two batters can do is try and go 100 miles an hour from ball 1. They've got to try and build some sort of a partnership, be able to really get a little bit of a score going and then attack.
Here's Rashid bowling to Shan Masood. He turns that into the onside towards deep mid wicket. They're coming back for the second. Throws on its way, gathered by Salt, and they get it as well. 48 for 4. What we have seen in this series, last 2 matches, lots of 2s. When you think of a small ground, you think of 1s, 4s and 6s, don't you? You don't think of many 2s, but there have been a few. I suppose it's a tribute to the running as well. These days they seem to turn dots into 1s as well. Here's Rashid bowling to Shan Masood. Masood goes inside out, hits it over extra cover. That's going out towards the boundary. Brook can't get round. Again, just emphasising short boundaries, quick outfield. More like it from Pakistan. This is what they need. 52 for 4.
Clever batting there from Shan Masood, just making himself a little bit of room by moving outside a leg stump. He knows Adil Rashid is going to bowl a lot of googlies to him as the left-hander, and just real precision to just chip it over extra cover. Not too much power needed to make it run away to the boundary. Brilliant batting.
She tries again, bowls to Shan Masood. That's a full toss, that's pumped away. Well, that got what it deserved. It's gone for 6. Rashid frustrated with himself. Lovely, juicy full toss that I think most would have hit for 6.
Yeah, absolute gift there for Shan Masood. In only his second international T20 innings, he's been one of the best performing T20 batters around the world in all the competitions he's played. Obviously in the T20 Blast as well, back home for Derbyshire. He's had an outstanding season, which has earned him this call-up.
It was a lovely, juicy full toss. Rashid bowls again, turned away into the onside. They're off for one, they're looking for two towards the edge of the circle. Not this time though, Rashid was after it. He was beaten by Duckett coming in from deep mid-wicket. 1 run, 59 for 4 in the 9th over. 222 required for victory by Pakistan. The crowd have got a bit more interested again now, as the run rate has been stepped up in the last couple of overs. Rashid bowls, very full, driven back by Kushtil. Back to the bowler, it bends down to his left-hand side to pick up. And there is no run. 1 ball left in the over from Adil Rashid. What's Kushtil going to do with it? He waits, Rashid bowls to him. Short into the pitch, chopped away towards backward point. Picked up by Milan, they're through for a single. 60 for 4 after 9 overs. Let's have a look where England were after 9. It's typical, I've written every other over down but that one. Anyway, they were 77 for 2 after 8, so they were into the 80s after 9 overs, and they only lost the 2 wickets, so well ahead, but they had that tremendous spurt in the second half of the innings. Anyway, Pakistan still just about keeping themselves alive in those last couple of overs. England will feel pretty confident about closing out this game to make it 2-1. Next game on Sunday in this series. We're on 3:15 for that, but England-India tomorrow in the women's one-day international from 10:45. And I should also say as well that the T20 World Cup starts back end of October. England's first game is on the 22nd against Afghanistan. Pakistan's first game, they've got a low-key fixture against India. Here's Curran bowling, short, slower ball outside the off stump, guided away by Kushtil out towards deep mid-wicket for a single. That's on the 23rd, so a month today at the MCG. Very sensibly, the organisers have slated the MCG for Pakistan against India. I'm sure they'll fill it, and we'll bring you those matches here on 5 Sports Extra on the BBC. Coverage of the T20 World Cup. So England-Pakistan, 22nd of October, first match. Pakistan-India, 23rd. I'll bring you both those games. Perth, England are playing in that Afghanistan match. Here's Curran bowling to Shan Masood. Masood goes leg side, Curran follows him, dabbed into the onside for a single. They're going to look for 2 again. That hasn't even gone outside the circle. I'm not sure I've seen that before. Normally the ball just rolls outside the circle, but that one went inside the circle and they got back for 2. Another 2. 63 for 4 in the 10th over. And Shan Masood and Kushtil here just repairing some of the damage. Pakistan were 28 for 4 in the 6th over. 63 for 4 now. 222 required for victory. 159 more needed from 64 balls. Curran bowls. Low pull by Shan. Out towards deep square leg. Single. If they are to get close from here, it'll have to be a faultless chase. Things will have to go their way. But normally in a situation like this, someone hits it up in the air or doesn't quite get enough on it. And as we saw with the wicket of Baba and Iftikhar, just miscuing Sam Curran. 1 for 9, midway through his 2nd over. Bowls to Kushtil, short ball helped on its way into the crowd, towards the crowd at fine leg. That's gone for 6. 70 for 4.
Lovely pick up there. We talked about how important that shot is in T20 cricket, just the flick off the hip, being able to, instead of working that ball for a couple, being able to get the elevation back, going from low to high, to flick it off your hip and over into the deep fine leg boundary. We saw Harry Brook play it outstandingly earlier in England's innings for his top innings of 82, I think it was. 81, apologies.
You can hear the crowd getting behind their team. Curran bowls another short ball into the surface, pulled away towards deep mid-wicket. Duckett is there. They walk through for a single. 71 for 4, coming towards the halfway stage of Pakistan's innings. They need 151 to win in 10.1 overs. 6 wickets in hand, but these two just started to give them a bit of hope, as Brook and Duckett did. They got in and Pakistan could not dislodge them. Last ball of Curran's over. He's used the middle of the pitch quite a lot. There's a lovely flick there from Shan Masood. Fine leg up inside the circle, moving across, flicked it off his toes, down towards the boundary. This is more like it for Pakistan. 75 for 4, so it's 147 to win off the last 10 overs, 14.7 runs per over. But Masood and Kushtil, both on 24, have got this innings going as the drinks come onto the field. More from you, Heather, and you can talk through the drinks break. And Atif Nawaz is coming in to see whether Pakistan can sustain this revival.
Very small bit of hope from this partnership with Masood and Shah. They've come together quite nicely, and that's been the real question mark of Pakistan. If their top order does not fire, how is the middle order going to go? Hasn't fared too well so far tonight, 74 for 4, but these two, Masood and Shah, putting on a bit of a partnership. Masood is 24 off 13 and Shah on the same score of 24 off 15 balls.
Absolutely. Well, a good chance for Pakistan to have a look at that middle order, and a very good opportunity here for Khushdil Shah, who's been hyped massively by Pakistan. He's played 22 games for Pakistan now without passing 36 in his international career, which is way below what's expected of him. And he does come in low down the order, and Pakistan often put pressure on their power hitters, but there's an opportunity here for him to try and show some of his skill on a good batting surface still. They're only 13 runs behind where England were at this point, so there's a slight sense of hope. I've just looked at the win predictor online, and it currently has Pakistan on 0.59%. So you're telling me there's
quite
a chance.
Very generous.
Well, it has been superb from England today, and Mark Wood in particular has been ramping up the pace. 97 miles per hour, one of his deliveries, which can only goes to prove that if you write a book, you get much quicker, apparently.
Obviously, if you have a little bit of a break from the game, apparently you come back better, so that's good news for me. And he's been outstanding. I mean, not played a game since March. That's such a long period, and it can be really hard when you do come back from a big break to find the rhythm and be up to the pace of international cricket. So to see Mark Wood bowl with the pace and the energy, just the pure exuberance that he is back playing for his country, something he loves doing, is really lovely to see. And obviously doing as well as he has done tonight, he's going to be a really important member of England's T20 World Cup squad out in Australia. It's a place where you need fast bowlers, and Mark Wood has been very fast tonight.
They certainly don't come much quicker than Mark Wood. And he seems to have found that extra bit of pace tonight as well. There's pitches in Australia we anticipate will be quite quick and bouncy as well, so they can get those deep third fielders ready right on the boundary, because there's going to be a lot of balls travelling in that area, you imagine. Right now in Karachi, though, in the third of this T20 series between England and Pakistan, it currently sits at 1 apiece. England have set Pakistan a huge total here. 221 the target, 222 I beg your pardon, the target for Pakistan. They need 147 from 60 balls, which is extremely unlikely. But stranger things do happen in this game. Khushdil Shah currently on 24 from 15 balls, Shan Masood 24 of 13. And as we say, there have been huge totals scored at this ground. 238, the highest in a T20 international. That was the Islamabad United side in the PSL of 2018. England captain Moeen Ali back in for his second over. His first went for 11. A good matchup for him against the left-handed Shan Masood. In comes Moeen Ali, down the track comes Shan Masood, and works this down towards mid-wicket for a single. And feeds the strike back to Khushdil. 76 for 4 off 10.1. This is a day-ish atmosphere. There's still a lot of noise about the National Stadium, Karachi. It's a bit of a carnivalesque feel out there. I think a lot of people go and they hope that their home team will win, but they go and they really enjoy the occasion of the match as well. Here's Moeen Ali now, into Shan Masood, who comes down the track and awkwardly works that down to long on for a single. In fact, and it's just a single. He just gestures with his hand there, Shan Masood. That was just keeping a little bit low. A little bit low.
It's a sort of period in the match where you expect a Mexican wave. It's that sort of vibe, isn't it?
Moeen Ali into Khushdil now. This is shorter. It's been pulled by Khushdil. He's picked out the fielder at mid-wicket. It's Ben Duckett who gets the throw back. Just a single to the score. I don't think they do very many Mexican waves in Pakistan. Mexican culture seems to have sort of evaded. I'm trying to think if I've been to any good Mexican restaurants in Pakistan, but I don't think I have.
No, me neither. It's because I've never been.
Into the pads from Moeen Ali that time to Shan Masood, who can only just work it to short fine leg up inside the circle. Reece Topley with the throw, just a single to the score. 50 partnership up for these two, 51 off 31. You'll have to go a lot bigger. I do hope you get a chance to go, Heather, but there's still that postponed women's tour that needs to happen, as Moeen Ali watches Hushdil come down the track and just adjust his length, and Hushdil can just work it to mid-wicket for a single. Yeah, there was the matches that were supposed to happen last year. They've not been rescheduled yet, but it'll be great to see the England women's team out there sharing some of their experience and expertise with the Pakistan side.
Yeah, I'd love to go out there, and nice to see you reading a book today about Pakistani women's cricket.
This is short from Moeen Ali, and it's been pulled just over Ben Duckett, who was stationed deep at that mid-wicket boundary. He had to clear him, and he did, only just there, Shan Masood. He'll feel good about that shot. 11 overs down, 86 for 4. Pakistan just giving their fans something to cheer about. I thought you were going to say, oh, you were just pleased to see me reading a book, full stop, for a second, Heather. It's the way you phrased it, but there's a couple of good books about Pakistan cricket. But one I'm enjoying at the moment about Pakistan women's cricket and the history of it. And yeah, I think hopefully the next time somebody writes one about Pakistan women's cricket, they could reflect on an England women's tour out there.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the journey Pakistan women's cricket has been on is remarkable, and I'd love to read the book after you'd finished with it. Definitely, and I think, yeah, it's an important thing to do, and I think the fact that Pakistan women are playing out there is a really good story, and we'd love to go and support them.
Adil Rashid into Hushdil Shah, who brings out the reverse sweep, can't beat Reece Topley at short third, and it'll just be the single. And a reminder, of course, tomorrow England's women will be in action against India in the third one-day international from Lords. Commentary for that, our coverage for that, will begin at 10:45 on 5 Sports Extra, so do join us then to see if the England women's team can get a consolation win back in that series, as Rashid, another quick delivery from him, worked to deep square leg by Shan Masood for a single.
We just saw a replay of that 6 that Shan Masood hit, actually, and Ben Duckett should have done a bit better on the boundary, just burst through his hands. He's a very good fielder out on the boundary. Not the tallest, but he should have done better on that occasion.
Adil Rashid into Hushdil. This is short outside off. It's been hit very, very hard, and a brilliant bit of work deep on the boundary there in the covers. The ball was really travelling across the surface, took the middle of the bat as well, but Sam Curran fielding out in front of the boundary in the covers pulls that ball back in, so just a single. 133 needed off 51. Rashid into Shan Masood, a big appeal, looked like it was down leg side for me, and they run through for a leg by the batters, and the score moves on to 90 for 4. We'll wait on confirmation of that, actually, because Moeen Ali might take the review. No, he turns around and says, nah, I don't think so. Probably wise there, Heather.
Yeah, definitely pitched outside leg and cannoned into Shan Masood's clads. He's actually wearing clads, which is a cloth sort of covering to change the colour of your pads. Not often seen in international cricket.
Rashid into Hushdil, who smashed this down the ground. I don't know if he's got the distance on it. He doesn't. The catch is taken by Harry Brook. Adil Rashid breaks the partnership. Hushdil Shah looking to go big. He had to at this stage of the game. Can't get the distance. Rashid has his man. Good catch by Harry Brook. What a game he's having. Hushdil has to go for 29 off 21. Pakistan 90 for 5 off 11.5 overs.
And it was the wrong gun from Adil Rashid, just going across the left-hander and just slicing it up to long off, and Harry Brook takes the catch, and you could just sense the pressure was starting to build a little bit. England have had quite a good little spell applying pressure, and when you're chasing this sort of total, pressure builds very fast, and they've got so much left to do. And as you say, he hasn't quite done as he should have done. Hushdil Shah in international cricket, lots of 20s and 30s, and again he hasn't been able to go on 29 off 21 balls for him.
Well, Pakistan in a bit of trouble here. 90 for 5 off 11.5, chasing a record target of 222. There's Mohammad Nawaz, who's going to come out and join Shan Masood out in the middle to face up to this England attack. What an exciting England team this is, and we can tell you that every game in the upcoming T20 World Cup is live on 5 Sports Extra here on the BBC, including the first phase, which starts on the 16th of October, including Scotland and Ireland. And before that, we'll bring you commentary of England's 3 T20s against Australia as well. That take place just before the World Cup, starting on the 9th of October. Rashid now in to Shan Masood, who drives off a thick outside edge to Reece Topley at backward point. They run through for a single. 91 for 5 after 12 overs. Complete performance this has been so far by an England team keen to bounce back after yesterday's 10-wicket loss to Pakistan. There's been so much to talk about. Harry Brook, Ben Duckett, Will Jacks, superb with the bat and with the ball. Mark Wood with some serious pace. Sam Curran in good support as well. Reece Topley, brilliant in the field, brilliant with the ball. And now Adil Rashid joining the ranks of the wicket takers.
Yeah, I think England have done a brilliant job in actually changing up their team and bringing a bit of freshness. It's obviously back-to-back T20s.
Moeen Ali in, down the track comes Mohammad Nawaz, and he smashed that ball for a 1-bounce 4. Terrific shot, I beg your pardon. Shan Masood on strike. Lots of left-handers in the Pakistan middle order. And Shan Masood is taking the attack to the England skipper. Terrific shot.
Yeah, and I think we expect Pakistan probably are going to lose this game now, but I think they've got to take as much as they can from this game, and a really good innings from Shan Masood would be a massive positive for them. He's obviously come into the side only in his third IT20, his second innings in Pakistani colours, and he's going well.
Moeen Ali into Shan again. There's a big swipe at that across the line. Sort of unaesthetically gets it out towards mid-wicket for a single. He'll take it though. He's on to 38 of 21. Pakistan need 126 of 46 balls. If this was a boxing match, England have dominated all 11 rounds so far. And the haymaker from Pakistan in the 12th round looks very, very unlikely. 96 for 5. In Karachi, Moeen into Mohammad Nawaz. Backward point. Picks up that ball as it's defended to him. The crowd chant, "Go Nawaz, go." Again, I might record that and save that for my ringtone. Moeen into Mohammad Nawaz, who comes down the track and just checks his shot, plays with soft hands. Extra cover runs in, but they do run through for a single. 97 for 5. England captain very astutely getting through his spinners' overs at the moment. He knows that Pakistan are going to go after these bowlers. They have to, with that required rate up at 17 and over. Moeen Ali into Shan Masood. This is a low full toss, and Shan has played this away towards mid-wicket. Doesn't pick out the gap. In fact, picks out the fielder at mid-wicket. It's Ben Duckett, and it's been signalled a no ball for being over waist height. Felt a little bit harsh.
Yeah, we saw a few of those on the first game of the series, didn't we, on Tuesday?
Yeah.
And maybe the effect of dew. There's probably marginal, but there was one on Tuesday, wasn't there, that was probably more of a no ball than that was.
Here we go. Free hit time. Nawaz on strike. Moeen Ali in, and he fires that down the leg side. Did it take a bit of pad on its way through? I think it did take a bit of pad on its way through, so perfect result for the England captain. Dot ball off a free hit. 99 for 5 for Pakistan off 12.5 overs. Mohammad Nawaz on strike on 1 off 3. Moeen in. Nawaz waits on a ball that keeps a little bit low and drives out to wideish extra cover. Inside the circle for a single. So the 100 comes up for Pakistan. 100 for 5 of 13 overs. The equation, though, very much in England's favour. 122 needed from 42 balls. This crowd, they might not get the result. They're very unlikely to get the result that they want, but they certainly have been entertained by both these sets of players here today, Heather. They've been absolutely outstanding in terms of the entertainment provided.
Yeah, they have. England have been really outstanding in how they've gone about this match. The batting of Harry Brook and Ben Duckett, that partnership in particular, was outstanding. Really, lots of skill on show, lots of precision, and two different methods actually, which worked equally. Brook using his feet a lot more to the spinners, and Duckett sweeping everything in sight like the chimney he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really entertaining, and it looks like England are probably going to win this match. And again, it alternates.
The chimney sweep.
The chimney sweep.
Yeah, he's not a chimney.
Sweep. Correct. The chimney sweep.
It reminds me of an old garage song. It's going to look like there's a chimney on her. I don't know if you remember that song.
I don't.
All right, in comes Sam Curran. Starts with a slower ball. Nawaz can just dig the ball back to the bowler, and there is no run. 100 for 5 off 13.1 overs.
They've used a lot more variations than Pakistan, England tonight. The bowlers have been really proactive. Probably watched the first innings, and the fact that Pakistan didn't change up their pace, didn't use their Yorkers too much. They just tried to hit hard length and it wasn't successful. So England being really proactive, changing their pace, following slow balls, often up with a short bouncer.
Curran with a short ball that's been pulled away by Mohammad Nawaz, but again picks out the fielder in the leg side for a single. And that's something that went in England's favour. They constantly found the gaps towards that short boundary. So Ben Duckett sweeping, as you said, and just, a little bit of game awareness, just waiting a split second longer on the shot, making sure you found the gap, rather than pick out the fielder with more power, as Pakistan have done so often. It wouldn't be a bad total in some circumstances, 101 for 5 off 13.2 overs, but they're chasing 222. Another big swing from Shan Masood. Can't beat the fielder at long on this time. Another single to the score. He's getting some time out in the middle, Shan. He's on 40 off 23. Of course, we'll be playing for Yorkshire next season. Him and Harry Brook in the same team. That will be something to look forward to in the T20 Blast.
It will be. Wonder if we'll see a bit of Mark Wood soon. Bowled brilliantly in his first spell, and wonder if he'll come on and try and finish off this game.
Sam Curran in, full toss, and not timed by Nawaz. Again, awkwardly worked out towards long on for a single. And, Pakistan on to 103 for 5 from 13.4 overs. That equation far beyond them at this point. It's really just a case about trying to salvage the positives from this game, and some of them are happening. And Shan Masood spending some time out there. This Curran in. This is full and fast, and just a little inside edge onto the pads. Had he not got that on there, he would have been stone cold LBW, but as it happens, they'll run through for a leg by. A run, I beg your pardon, because of the bat. 104 for 5 the score. 41 of 24 for Shan. It's been impressive. Hushtil, I thought, was reasonably impressive as well. 29 off his 21. But again, not able to get to that 50 mark in T20 international cricket. It will be a cause for concern for Pakistan. They've invested heavily in Hushtil. Here comes Sam Curran now into Nawaz, who slaps this ball down the ground to long off. It's fielded by Harry Brook for a single. 105 for 4 off 14 overs, 117 needed off 36. Come on then, Heather Knight, humour me. If you were chasing 117 off 36, how do you do it?
Well, they say in T20 cricket, when it gets to 2 a ball, it's pretty hard. When it gets to 3 a ball, it's near on impossible. So I'd definitely be getting my bottom hand out, I think, trying to clear the ropes. It's really tough to obviously chase that now. They've made it very tricky by losing those early wickets, and then the middle order, which hasn't had as much success as Pakistan's top order, have stuttered a little bit. So I think it's one of those, you just got to take what you can out of the match, try and get some time in the middle. Shan Masood is getting a lot of that much needed time right now, and then move on to the next one. The good thing in a 7-match T20 series is you've got a chance to come back.
Yeah. And Saqlain Mushtaq, Pakistan head coach, scribbling his notes down. I'm sure he'll have a lot of feedback. Thank you very much for your thoughts. England captain Heather Knight. And Mark Wood is back in the attack for his 3rd over with Mohammad Nawaz on strike. Here's Wood with another short ball. Not quite as quick. He sort of preempted the pace of that, did Mohammad Nawaz. He thought it was going to be quicker than it was in the end, but it's not slow either at 141 kilometers per hour. I wouldn't want to face it. He goes through to the keeper on the bounce, though. He's hit some serious pace today as Mark Wood. 156.2 kilometers per hour, his quickest ball. That's 97 miles per hour. Pakistan in all sorts of trouble at 105 for 5, chasing 222. It's Paul Farbris back in alongside me. Get your thoughts on this very impressive spell from Mark Wood in a second. And he comes to Mohammad Nawaz. This is short, and Nawaz works it away through the covers for a single. They're going to get back for a second, are they? Yes, they'll just about make it back. Good early call from Shan Masood at the non-strikers. He yelled Aja, which means come. And they get there too. But how impressive has Mark Wood been today, Paul?
Absolutely outstanding right from the start. He really has, and it took that that one blow back over his head early in his spell, and then from there he has ramped the pace up and charged in. He looks absolutely top class.
Mark Wood into Nawaz again, onto his hips, and it's been flicked away nicely by Mohamed Nawaz. Picks out the boundary. That fine leg, a couple of bounces into the advertising sponge. A welcome for the hosts here as they move on to 111 for 5. Terrific shot.
Yeah, it's lovely to see Mark Wood back. And I said early on, you know, this is the sort of player that England need. If they're going to go and win this T20 World Cup, they're going to need someone with real, genuine pace. And Woody is a game changer. Don't remember how many runs he goes for. He will take your wickets, a bit like Adil Rashid. They are game changers. And Woody is one of the best at it in T20 cricket.
Here comes Mark Wood into Mohamed Nawaz. Another short ball. Big swing from Nawaz. Gets nowhere near the ball, really, as it goes through to the keeper on the bounce. There is no run.
There's no finer sight than I love to see Woody run in. So Kevin Shine did some work with Woody, and a lot of people got credit at the time that they talked to Woody about extending his run up. Michael Holding was mentioned. Kevin Shine was the one who'd worked with him, got him to extend his run up, and I think since he put a little bit more length into that run up, which allows him to build his pace up in his run up, hit the crease at full pace, be absolutely balanced and settled, and then he lets rockets go. I mean, he really does bowl rockets. He is an outstanding bowler, and in T20, absolute game changer.
Really is Mark Wood, and he comes to Mohamed Nawaz, who again swings and misses at another ball. The shorter ball from Mark Wood, and just pulled his line back in towards the left-handed Nawaz. Didn't give him any room there, really.
Your win predictor.
So you want to know what it is?
I was teasing you earlier about your 4.6, and then I did say when they were 20 for 4, we were probably down. There was a few noughts after the point before we got to the 4. Where are we at now?
It's currently at 0.05% for Pakistan.
Oh, there's still a chance then.
There's a mathematical chance.
Well,
but it may not be much more than mathematical.
It probably would be one of the greatest finishes in the T20 International. 111 off 32 balls.
Mark Wood into Nawaz, who slaps that ball over the covers, and that's going to go one bounce 4 to the deep extra cover boundary. Nice shot there from Mohamed Nawaz. Good hand speed on that shot. 115 for 5 off 15 overs. Pakistan need 111 off the final 31 balls. It looks very unlikely, but I tell you what, Paul Farbrace, just before I leave, you're coaching the Abu Dhabi T10, so 111 off 31 is something that you've probably seen before. What are you telling your batters? How do they get 111 off 31 balls? Give us your thoughts on that, and then to take you through to the conclusion of this game, it's going to be Simon Mann.
Well, I think it's 107 now off 30, and I have to say, if a team got 107 off 30 and I was the coach of the bowling team, I think I'd be speechless on the bus on the way back to the hotel that night. It would be a tough one to take. England have played brilliantly through this game, you know, and we talked earlier about, before the game started, about how tough it is to play back-to-back games and how tough it is to get yourself up for the game the next day in international cricket. So much energy, so much mental energy's gone into the game yesterday, but I think England have, from start to finish here, Simon, have been absolutely outstanding. I thought they played brilliantly with the bat. We saw an excellent start from Will Jacks, and then Duckett and Brooks partnership 139, and then with the ball, England have been absolutely relentless, I think, from ball 1.
Here goes Curran to bowl to Nawaz. It's way down the leg side. He followed the batter there. Really wide delivery ultimately, only because he was trying to follow him, and the batter went so far towards the leg side. It's tough really when that happens. Anyway, wide is signalled, 116 for 5. It's probably England's best. This is England's best T20 performance of the year, I would say. I mean, they've still got to finish it off, still 5 overs left, but they made 221 for 3. They've restricted Pakistan with some clever bowling as well. The pace of Wood, Curran's been skillful. Here goes Curran into bowl to Shan Masood, and Shan Masood goes leg side, it's outside the off-stump. It's fumbled by Salt. It's not a wide this time. That was good from Curran. He found that line just inside the wide line. It's not easy for the batter who'd gone out towards the leg side. They've not had a great year in T20, really, England. I mean, they got done by South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope that phrase that you've just used, and I'll come back to it when Sam Curran has finished this ball.
Here's Curran bowling to Shan Masood. He's on 41. A straight ball. He goes towards the offside, lifts it into the onside. Might go for 4. No, it's stopped by a sprawling Duckett. At deep mid-wicket, they come back for 2. 118 for 5.
this really has been England's best performance in T20 cricket this year. I hope you're saying that at the World Cup final. That would be a lovely phrase to hear you to be saying across the radio airwaves. That would be a fantastic phrase. I hope that you're repeating that. But you're absolutely right. I think it has been. I think it's been an excellent performance. I think with bat they were absolutely clinical, fantastic, 221 for 3, and have bowled and caught brilliantly.
Curran bowls. Shah Massoud gets one down the leg side. It goes through to Salt. Little flick of the pad there. No. Wide is signalled by umpire Aleem Dar. And they don't want to ruin it in these last 5 overs, but it looks as if they're going to have a pretty comfortable victory. They did beat South Africa. It was a good win against South Africa in Bristol back earlier in the season, but that was when Stubbs came out and smashed in. South Africa just made them think for a while that they were going to get close-ish, but this could be quite a big win for England. Curran goes wide of off stump, Shah Massoud goes leg side, gets some bat on it. It's only a single out towards cover. 120 for 5. So the T20 World Cup is imminent, and just to let you know that we have commentary on every single match in that T20 World Cup, starting on the 16th of October, because there's a preliminary tournament involving Scotland and Ireland. We'll bring you those games, and then we'll also have commentary on England's 3 T20s against Australia that take place before the World Cup. They start on the 9th of October. Here is Curran bowling, pulled away by Nawazak towards deep mid-wicket, and they're through for a single, 121 for 5. So every game in the T20 World Cup is live on Sports Extra, and we're also going to bring you the Pakistan Test Series as well in December on Test Match Special. So lots of cricket, lots of England cricket, lots of international cricket to look forward to, and women's cricket tomorrow as well at Lord's from 10:45, England against India. England 221 for 3, Pakistan in the 16th over 121 for 5. As Curran bowls, and Shah Massoud hits that out towards long on, and that's gone for 6. There's a fielder out there lurking on the boundary. It was just away to his left and over his head. 6 more to Pakistan, and there is Shah Massoud's half century. So he's been in good form both in England and in Pakistan in T20 cricket, in at number 4. And that is a half century for him in his second T20 innings, and it's come in very good time as well. It's come from 28 balls with 3 sixes and 5 fours. It's 127 for 5 with 1 ball left of the 16th over. Curran moves into bowl to him, slower delivery deceives him, a swipe from Massoud past the off stump and past the edge and through to wicket-keeper Salt. Curran's finished, 4 overs, 1 for 37 today from Sam Curran. Not spectacular figures, but he has done his job, as indeed have all the England bowlers and most of the England batters as well today. Will Jacks on his debut making 40, Duckett 69 not out, and Brook a scintillating 81 not out, stand of 139. Pakistan with 4 overs left need a further 95 to win. You ever seen that done? 95 off 4?
No, and I certainly hope that I don't see it today. I'm just going to say then about Shah Massoud. I said when he came in, we've seen a lot of him play really well in English domestic cricket. He really is a fine player. All forms of the game, excellent play, looks in really good touch. He's continued his good form on. I think he's one of the leading run scorers in T20 cricket in the world in this last 12 months and has played really well. I really like the way that he plays. I think he always looks comfortable, he always looks in control. Very measured in the way that he plays the game, times the ball, he's got power when he needs it, he scores all round the pitch. I think he's a really high quality player, and he's shown this, and this will be one of the real good things out of this performance.
Topley bowls to Massoud, who guides that through the vacant cover region out towards the boundary. It's only a single. Liam Dawson comes in, so Topley's bowled 2 overs 1 for 7 before this over. He's been impressive. Wood 3 overs 2 for 18. Just looking who else can bowl. Dawson's only bowled the 1 over. Rashid has bowled 3. Moeen Ali's bowled 3. Curran's finished. So these last 4 overs, presumably Topley's going to bowl 2. Wood might bowl 1. And then one of the spinners is going to have to bowl an over.
You would think that 4 of these bowlers today are absolute first choice picks for England come the World Cup.
Topley bowls to Massoud. Pumped away out towards deep square leg. Curran's there. They're coming back for the second. It's a tight one. The throw just seemed to loop on its way back. The bails are off, but didn't get back quickly enough to Salt. So 2 more to the total. So what's your team then for the opening game? I suppose the one slot is who opens with Joss Buttler, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think that Hales is probably. I mean,
Hales ahead of Salt.
I would think so. I think Hales to open the batting with Buttler would be the way to go. Milan likes to open. Milan, Livingston, Brook has got to be.
Topley bowls, driven by Shah Massoud into the offside. Only a single to the left of Moeen Ali. 1 for 5 in the 17th over.
Brook, you would think, would be a good choice in there, but I mean, you've also, you've got Stokes back in the mix. Livingston. It's not going to be easy for England picking it, but I mean, they seem pretty set that they know what that 10 of their 11 is. I was trying to work out. It's got to be, I would imagine, one of the bowling options would be the one they're thinking about.
Topley bowls very full Yorker length, dug out by Nawaz into the offside. Topley stops it. There's no run there. It's another dot ball. The crowd, as you can hear, very quiet. Sort of murmurings, really. They think, well, they know this game is done. I think yesterday was the day to have a ticket if you're a Pakistan supporter. A remarkable partnership between Rizwan and Barbara Azam, but it's very difficult to replicate it 2 days running, especially under the sort of pressure they were under, chasing 2-2-2, both out for 8 today. Topley bowls outside the off stump, dragged by Nawaz into the deep mid-wicket area. Duckett sends in the return, and makes them hurry as well. Nawaz wanted to walk that. One more, 132 for 5. Coming to the end of the 17th over, 90 to win from 19 balls. We're going to get to the stage fairly soon when it's mathematically impossible. Shah Massoud though, 53 not out. Topley bowls to him again. Yorker length, really good delivery, dug out into the offside towards backward point. They go through for a single. They allow it, really. England, they don't mind those singles. Rashid could have picked it up and hurled the ball at the stumps, but they got through. It's the end of the over. 3 overs left. Pakistan 133 for 5. So we've had 3 games in 4 days, but we're nowhere near. We're not even halfway through the series yet. There's another game on Sunday. Last game in Karachi, and then 3 in Lahore to finish it off. Then England got 3 matches in Australia, 3 T20 matches in Australia before the T20 World Cup gets underway.
Yeah, and it's, I think it's good in many ways that they have got that clarity, because it's really dangerous if you go into a tournament, and I've been involved in tournaments where you go into the tournament and you're not quite sure about players and you've got lots of options, and that's, at the moment, England's biggest, for me, the biggest concern winning this World Cup is actually having too many options, because if you try and get too clever and too cute with your selection, you can actually make it more difficult for yourself.
Yeah. Here goes Rashid to bowl to Sharma, who turns himself around. An appeal for LBW. This looked pretty close. It hit him on the pad. He might have had some bat in that. I think Rashid thought he'd gone onto the pad. They're not sure. I think Rashid's saying, did he hit that? It went out sort of inside the ring. They ran through for a single. What are they going to do? They've got 2 reviews left. Moeen could use one here. We're in the 18th over after all.
Third umpire to director, we have
they have reviewed it.
Original decision is not out. I haven't checked. It's a fair delivery. Let's start with the front on spin vision, please.
Just waiting for the pictures to load. Here we go. Here's the front on spin vision. Paul Firebrace is giving this out. Ooh. Oh, he's got bat on that, hasn't he?
Has he? I was looking at the foot.
Has he not got bat on it, or is it an optical illusion?
Oh, he has.
Yeah, he has got bat on it.
I'd be a dreadful umpire. I would be I said on Tuesday I gave a couple of terrible decisions as well. It was only Atif that saved me on Tuesday. Otherwise, I gave a couple of shockers.
Not out. You're on screen now.
Yeah, good decision.
Yeah, he got his bat on it. So
Alim Dar, one of the best in the world, I think. Yeah. Decision maker, outstanding.
Rashid bowls to Nawaz, chopped away by Nawaz towards deep cover. It'll only be a single. And, the game meandering towards its inevitable conclusion. Pakistan needing 87 runs to win from 16 balls, but England just reviewed one where it's not hit the pad at all. It's hit the under edge of the bat, but it did look like an optical illusion, and that's what it must look like to Rashid. Initially, I thought that was out, but then you saw he got some bat on it. Down the pitch comes Shah Massoud, out towards long on and over the fielder on the long on badge. He also dropped by the ball boy in his whites there. It was over his head. Chance for a bit of glory. It wasn't that well struck, to be honest. It felt like a bit of a cloth from the batter, but short, straight boundaries. Another ground that might well have been taken, but it had enough on it, and the ball boy leapt in the air and it went over the top of his fingers. Perhaps I'm being a bit unfair on Shah Massoud there. Perhaps he did get enough on it. Here's Rashid bowling, struck on the pad. Shah Massoud looking to lift that into the leg side. But you do see in T20 strokes that you think have not really been that well timed that still sail over the rope.
Absolutely, and you're right. I mean, it's not a huge boundary. The other thing is that the size of the bats these days that they carry, I mean, huge bats, and they've only got they don't even have to hit the middle these days and they go for 6.
Rashid to Nawaz, it goes for a swipe there, misses the googly and goes through to Phil Salt, who whips off a bail, but the back foot was firmly anchored from Nawaz. Dot ball, 1 ball left in the 18th over. Pakistan 142 for 5. They need 80 to win from 14 balls. Rashid bowls, and that's high in the air. This could well be caught at long off. Harry Brook, thank you very much, takes the catch, and Pakistan lose their 6th wicket. 142 for 6. Got to go down swinging here. England has created so much pressure, with the bat and then in the power play, picking up those early wickets, that it was an almost impossible task for Pakistan once they'd lost all those wickets in the power play. Nawaz is out, caught by Brook off Rashid, so that combination has worked again for England. Second time that has happened in the Pakistan innings, and it really is just a question of fulfilling the fixture now, bowling the last 2 overs. Nawaz out for 19, 142 for 6, but a really good performance from England today after, well, they lost by 10 wickets yesterday, but it's funny, isn't it? I mean, it didn't feel like a 10-wicket defeat, but I mean, obviously it was, and it went to the last over, and there were times when you thought England might win the game yesterday. That doesn't often happen with a 10-wicket defeat.
Absolutely, and it was a very strange, you're absolutely right, it was a very strange game. There's a very strange feeling to it. If you're a Pakistan player, Pakistan supporter, you're going away saying, well, that's a thumping victory, but from an England point of view, it wasn't really a thumping defeat, was it? It would have been one of those, I think you'd have got back to your hotel room last night in Karachi and scratching your head thinking, I'm not quite sure how we've lost by 10 wickets, because I didn't think they bowled terribly. They didn't bowl as well as they did in the first game, the last 10 overs, but if you don't take wickets and people get in partnerships, it's very hard to stop team scoring, and that's what they've done so well right from the start. They've just taken wickets, and it's made it very, very difficult for Pakistan to get anywhere near the 222 that they're chasing for victory.
Yeah, Pakistan winning with 3 balls to spare last night. They probably could have got there a little bit quicker if they needed to. Here's Wood back into the attack, round the wicket. His first ball is played away by Massoud out towards cover.
I was just going back to that discussion we were having a couple of overs ago about the World Cup team, and I just started writing down. So in terms of a bowling attack, I've gone with Topley, Rashid, Wood, and I've got Wokes in there as well, who I'd like to see back playing. I think he just gives England that all-round option in the middle as well, and Moeen Ali. So that would be my 5 bowlers.
And Rashid.
And Rashid, definitely, yes.
So not
Rashid.
Sam Curran.
Well, I've got Curran in, but then I've just realised I've left Chris Jordan out, so I'm not sure that's going to happen.
143 for 6. Here's Kadir facing Wood, and there's a full delivery, play towards mid-off, shot the stumps, hits them. I think he could be out here.
Brilliant fielding from Moeen Ali.
Did he slide his bat in?
I'm
or
not
did
sure.
he
He's almost gone to put his bat in, isn't he? That's out. That's out. Even I can give that one. That's definitely out.
Right. Well, this is a test for umpire Farbrace, because you've given this out. You gave that LBW out.
Yeah,
and
no,
hit the bat.
that was a shocking decision. That's one thing I won't be going to do now that I'm close to leaving my role with Warwickshire. I won't be becoming an umpire. That is for certain.
Right, here we go. Just seeing it now. Moeen Ali, a little flick at the stumps, and that's well out. Well out. Yeah. Yeah, those eyes are not deceiving you, Paul.
That's a brilliant piece of fielding.
143 for 7. So Carter is run out for naught. First ball.
Yeah, brilliant fielding that. The ball played up to mid-off, and Moeen Ali coming in from mid-off. He's not the quickest, Moeen, but he's got good hands. Picked it up clean, and as you said, a sidearm flick almost on the run. So didn't stop. He kept moving towards the extra cover area where he picked the ball up from, flicked the ball with his right hand, hit the side of the stumps, and comfortably out. Brilliant piece of fielding that for Moeen Ali, and in many ways that sums up England's performance today.
Definitely.
You know, it really sums up their performance. They've been crisp, they've been sharp, they've been on it. I thought they batted really, really well, and it wasn't easy getting the pace and the bounce, but then with the ball, been absolutely brilliant. Dawson bowled a first good over, Topley backed him up, and then from there on been outstanding with the ball.
Wood bowls down the leg side to Shan Masoodi, tries to swing it away, misses it. It's going to be called wide. Taken by Phil Salt, away to his right-hand side. Well, one of the positives for England tonight has been the bowling of Mark Wood, who's come back and bowled rapidly. One delivery clocked at 97 miles an hour. I don't remember Mark Wood bowling, I mean he's bowled fast before, but I don't remember him bowling a 97 mile an hour ball.
That's genuine pace, isn't it? I mean, that really is high quality pace.
Wood bowls over the wicket, strikes the pad of Masood, who's looking to, he's in now and he's looking to play that into the leg side, but just on him a bit too quickly.
Yeah, the ball has skidded on, hasn't it? In all three of these games, we've seen the ball really skid onto the bat. A lot of balls have hit the top of the bat, they've hit the stickers, they've hit near the handle, and it's been not easy to score at times when you first go in, but once you get in, they're brilliant pitches to bat on. They're absolutely fantastic pitches to play on if you can hit through the ball.
Harris Rauf is in at number 9, and he's about to take strike from Mark Wood. He picked up those 2 wickets earlier, looking for another one now. Bowls to Rauf, it's full, and he gets the thick edge for 4. Well, it was a big swing. We saw a few of those in the England innings, and he just had a go at it really. First ball, and he got lucky through second slip down towards the deep third boundary. Harris Rauf giving himself some room.
Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah. I mean, he definitely has opened the front leg up to give his bat the full swing, and his thick outside edge. That's the nature of the game, and at Mark Wood's pace, you only got to get a little bit of bat on it, and it flies off down to third man for 4 runs. But Woody won't be bothered about runs here. It will just be a case of getting a game under his belt, feeling really good, feeling confident, and taking a couple of wickets.
Goes in now to bowl, and batter gives himself some room. Might get a wicket here. That's high into the night sky. Should be taken. It is by Sam Curran at point. It's fair to say there that Harris Rauf was not getting in line against Mark Wood. He backed away towards the leg side, had a big swing, well, trying to open up the offside, and it was a skyer, and Curran safely pouched it. The ball was actually around about leg stump in the end, and Harris Rauf was out towards the tram lines. Curran didn't take it totally convincing. He went away to his right to take it, but it was a catch that should have been taken and was, and Wood has picked up 3 wickets here. And the most encouraging thing as far as England are concerned is he looks right on it straight away. I mean, I'm sure he's been doing the work, in training and the nets and all that, absolutely. And they wouldn't have just thrown him in willy-nilly. They wanted to make absolutely sure that he's ready, but he certainly has been. Right, Mohammed has Nain in to face Wood now. Wood bowls to him, and he nearly gets through. Hasnain jams the bat down on that. That was a searing Yorker heading for middle stump. Hasnain got a thick inside edge away into the leg side. It's the end of the over. It's 149 for 8, and Mark Wood has come back to international cricket with 4 overs, 3 for 25. About as good a night as he possibly could have hoped for, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think Jos Buttler and Matthew Mott will be sitting there watching this saying, well done medics, well done the team at Durham and with the ECB, who've obviously worked very hard with Woody to get him back to this stage. You're absolutely right, he won't have just been thrown in at the deep end. There'll be a lot of time spent working with him, getting him right, because when you've been out for such a long time, more than anything, it's not the physical side of it, it's the mental battle for any cricketer, and certainly for a fast bowler when they haven't played for a long time. The mental battle, the mental challenge of coming back to play international sport, and people You know, you say, well, he hasn't played for 6 months. It's international cricket. You've got to be on it when you start, and I think he's been absolutely brilliant tonight.
Here's Reece Topley beginning the last over. His first ball is dug out into the offside towards Moeen Ali at extra cover. It's a single for Shan Masood. Horrible situation here for the batters coming in. The game's lost. You've just got to face the balls that are available. And Shan Masood then actually not playing a big shot. Perhaps he fancies a bit of red ink. I don't know. Why would you hit one up in the air in the last over? I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, you're not going to get 73 off 6. So he's played really well, Shan Masood. I think he will be the one player tonight that, you know, Sakle Mushtaq will be saying at the end, absolutely brilliant. He showed a real calm head and a very mature head.
Topley round the wicket, hit high in the air by Hasnain. This could be taken as well. Oh, not this time. It's deceived Liam Dawson at backward point. Catch that should have been taken, but he actually got nowhere near it in the end.
He never ever looked like catching it. When the ball's on its way down from a real, I mean, he's tried to absolutely launch that out of Karachi. It's gone up miles. Dawson's at sort of backward point, deep gully area, and he's ended up just outside the circle, diving full length, and actually technically it's not a chance.
He didn't touch it,
He hasn't
did he?
got a hand on the ball. He's got absolutely nowhere near it in the end.
Topley bowls to Shan Masood. It's a low full toss which is swiped into the leg side. They trot through for a single. A lot of the crowd have gone home. I don't blame them, especially if the traffic's bad, because I think we knew the result of this game quite a long time ago, really. 152 for 8, 3 balls left in the match.
It's a tough chance for Liam Dawson, that when it goes up into the sky like that and it comes down at real pace as well, and you're trying to set yourself, you're trying to get underneath it. And you mentioned earlier with Sam Curran's catch, you know, it was a reach for it at the last minute. Obviously just doesn't pick it up.
Topley bowls to Hasnain, who gets a thick inside edge on that, goes down towards deep third for a single. But what I would say, Paul, if that was, you know, semi-final of the World Cup and it was, you know, 20 to win and a vital batter who'd hit one up in the air like that, you'd be gutted, wouldn't you, to drop that catch?
Well, I think I'd be very calm sat in the dugout watching that. I think I'd be saying, oh, bad luck, Liam, that's not an easy catch. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There'd probably be a hole in the side of the dugout if he'd missed that in a big moment. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. No, you're quite right. You would expect him to catch it, but it is funny when they don't get anywhere near it.
Topley bowls to Shan Masood, who drives nicely, fluently, but straight to mid-off. Brooke Fields hurls the ball at the stumps because Masood ran through for a single. And the score goes to 154 for 8. There is 1 ball left in the match, as long as it's not a wide. And Pakistan supporters are more and more are drifting away. And you can hear that it's those who are staying, the noise is echoing around the stadium. It's going to be a big win from England, this. Moeen Ali still marshalling the troops to make sure everyone's in the right position. Professional to the last. And here is Topley to bowl to Hasnain, round the wicket. It's full, it's driven, it's going out towards the extra cover boundary. And Will Jacks there jogs round the rope. Hold on a second, what about my figures, says Reece Topley. Will Jacks almost allows that. No, he didn't allow it to go, but he didn't go full pelt after that. Perhaps he thought it was going to go for 4 in any case. It has gone for 4. It's the end of the match, and England have won emphatically, comfortably, by 63 runs. Just about their best performance in T20 this year. Big score and then excellent bowling, squeezing Pakistan, early wickets. And a 63-run victory in a T20 match is a bit of a thrashing. Yeah,
that's an absolutely outstanding performance from England. They'll be thrilled to bits, having lost the game yesterday by 10 wickets, to bounce back today. But I thought that England, from start to finish, they were comfortably the best team. I think they played brilliant cricket tonight. They'll be really thrilled. I thought Jacks at the start, making his debut, was absolutely outstanding with the bat. I thought he played brilliantly. The partnership between Duckett and Brooke, 139 off 70 odd balls, played superbly well. Harry Brooke, that really was a high quality innings, best innings I've seen him play in an England shirt. And then with the ball, I thought Dawson first over bowled a nice tight first over. Topley backed him up, and then from that moment on it was a case of Topley and Wood blowing away Pakistan's top order and having them at, where were they, 28 for 4 And from that point on, there was only one team winning it. But the good thing about England's point of view was that they maintained that real high quality throughout. And Moeen Ali's direct hit run out towards the end there just about summed up England's performance there. I thought they were absolutely outstanding. I thought Moeen got it absolutely right the way that he captained. Fantastic performance from England, and as I say, they'll be absolutely thrilled to bits with the way they bounced back after yesterday's performance, and a lot learned today. You know, that's one of the things. You want to win international matches, of course you do, but equally you want to learn as well, and this series is also about learning, and I think they'll have learned a lot tonight.
Yeah, some nice, they'll also take the positives, well, there's a bit of a cliche, but Harry Brook, breakthrough innings for him in international cricket, 81 not out. Mark Wood coming back to international cricket, 3 for 25. Let's hope he pulls up okay, and the ankle and the elbow and work for him perfectly well for the rest of the series. He might not play every game from now on, but you want him to play 2 or 3 from here on.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the England management will have been plotting how many games they want Woody to play up to the first game in that World Cup, and that will be really important planning for them.